wear lots of other colors.
It's so
And
funny because like one of my friends is like, because I always refer to myself as goth, and he's like, I don't
mm,
see you as goth. It's like opens closet, looks at 5 pairs of black velvet leggings, looks at 10 black t-shirts, looks at 5 black dresses. It's like, okay,
I mean, to be fair, now but like back in the day when I used to work, I worked at this place called Fredericks of Hollywood.
you've
It's a lingerie
mentioned.
store, yes. But we had a uniform. Well, a uniform. We were expected to wear all black. We could wear
Yeah.
whatever we wanted for the most part, as long as it was all black and like not, like obviously we couldn't wear the merchandise that we could wear
Let's
corsets.
say sometimes you could
We
because
could,
I
yes,
have been
we could
in
wear
many
corsets.
when I used to work at Hot Topic. I have been in many of Fredericks of Hollywood.
Yes, yes, because those two typically like I cross pollination because I
Cause
shopped at
y'all
Hot
were
Topic
always
for
in
my
my store
clothes.
getting pants.
Yes,
Y'all were always in my store getting pants and earrings and shit.
that is so
And then
accurate.
we were downstairs getting like panties and bras.
That is because the way that is so accurate. Because I would literally walk
It's
a little
so
bit over to, I'd
it's
go to Hot
so
Topic and buy my pants because we could
Mhm.
only wear
Mhm.
black. But
Mhm.
I didn't want like this. I was
You
still
didn't want the
young.
normal, you didn't want the old navy
Yeah,
black, you wanted the
right.
skinny black, so
I
you
wanted
come
the
to Hot
skin.
Topic.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm screaming. And also, here's the thing though, is I also used to work, at one point I worked at Fredericks of Hollywood and American Eagle at the
Oh
same
ew.
time. Right.
I thought this
Don't get me
started in
started.
9 minutes. Who done lied? Not us.
Not us. We popped in a
Yeah.
little bit late,
Yeah,
actually.
excuse me. I have never lied. Well, no, I
Oop,
can't say that. I'm
I
not
don't
gonna say
lie
that.
anymore. Like after 5 years old, who's lying at? Well, okay, you
I'm
know what?
okay. Let's define a lie.
Right.
Is
I
it
was
something?
just right.
Amanda turns seme very quickly.
It's like wait,
Let's define what a lie is.
this
If
is
we're
fair.
if we're talking omission, are
Mm,
we talking like inflation? Are we
mm,
talking conflation? Like what is a lie? Because if a lie is just
mm.
like a completely false statement, we didn't
Hmm.
lie. We were here.
Right.
Now, if I have puffed myself up to bring a lady home, is that a lie? We told the truth. We were here.
We said 3:30. It is
Actually,
3:33.
hold on. I might perjure myself. Give me a second. Because I think I may have lied to you. No, I didn't. Okay. Because I texted
Oh,
you 3:30 and
yeah.
I thought I said 3. According to
Uh-huh.
the planner, I have 3:30.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I was
yeah,
like, I thought,
none of us be
yeah,
lying.
weren't no lies.
Yeah.
Oh, unless you saw the tweet that I tweeted when it was 9 minutes before the tweet start or before the thing started. But y'all, that's when you gotta read. You gotta look at it
Aisha,
has
why are you
timestamps
tweeting 9 minutes before?
to remind people.
9 minutes.
Yes.
9.
Yeah, just in case.
Okay. I just want to confirm that not nine
Yeah.
minutes is okay. Just
Mhm.
mhm. This is after she texted me this morning saying that she missed the tweet I had last night.
No, the
Asking,
text. No, you
yes, I
texted
texted
me.
you last night
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, do you want to like start advertising?" I get a
When
text
I
this morning. I get a reply this morning, almost 12 hours after I texted.
and I was TBH, I was panic. Like I got up in a panic. I was like, "Oh my God." And Matt was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh my God."
12. It is
I need to
almost.
respond to
It is almost to the dot 12 fucking hours after I texted
her. I can't even like. And the thing is like I genuinely like. I looked at the time that you texted.
It was
It was like
late.
seven. No, 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 no. It was
No, it
like
was.
seven something. Wasn't it
Oh,
like
it's more
seven
than
thirty?
12 hours. I'm
It
looking
was
at your
no.
panic tweet and the one I sent under it. I texted
Yeah.
you at a reasonable hour.
You texted me like, and the thing is, like I never heard it, so I must have like, because Matt and I start. I Matt and I don't want to reveal, I wasn't going to reveal this yet because I don't want the stands chasing after me in case I decide that I don't want to continue this. But we started watching a very popular anime last night, and I was genuinely engrossed and did not touch my, so I didn't even hear my, like, and by the time I saw it,
Are we gonna be in the same Sundere boat? Like what?
possibly, no.
We're
Actually,
not.
no,
Okay.
not that one.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, not that one. But
Okay.
it is one that I think has an equal. It's very. I bet you. It actually would be low key. It would low key fit in with this, with our theme. For this podcast. You
Oh
already know.
really?
Yeah,
I
it
feel
feels
like
very.
I feel like Jim Carrey and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, just like completely acting with my face.
Uh huh. It feels like as we were watching it, we were cackling, and also everyone is gay.
I can't wait to hear about this when we text and talk shit after the show.
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
I've given up on being Sundere about My Hero Academia because at this stage I just have too many
mm-hmm,
questions. So I can't afford to be Sundere anymore. I just like
mm.
need answers to things.
Yeah, but it is okay to like it. I
So
mean, it's okay to.
I like very certain aspects of it.
Right, right.
Like it's definitely overall still not for me.
Mm-hmm,
But like if I could get Cheers with the League of Villains, best anime that's ever existed.
mm,
Like there's definitely aspects of it that I think are very interesting,
mm-hmm,
but they're
mm-hmm.
never covered because we have to spend time with dumb main characters.
Yeah.
So I still like overall don't think the anime is for me.
Mm-hmm,
Well, me currently. Again, like if I was 16, fucking this is
mm-hmm.
my jam. this
Oh,
is
of course.
this is
Yeah.
my jam, this is my world. I stan whatever character I'd probably Bakugo, I don't know. The angry blonde one.
Mm,
Probably would stan him as I have Edward Elric on my chest. Um but yeah.
trapped.
Yeah, it tracks. It's like accurate. Hello, welcome to the live stream.
Yes. Hi.
This is to
Hi.
recap from our previous episode, which was on representation.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had a very insightful conversation
I
that
think so.
may,
Excuse me. I'm so
luckily,
sorry.
um, you're fine.
It was really gross, and I couldn't mute it fast.
It wasn't that gross.
Okay.
I've definitely heard and encountered much worse. You're fine.
Okay.
But it's definitely a conversation that I think I'm. I'll say this. I'm glad that we have the audience that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think like a wider audience, it might be very, very easy to misinterpret what we're saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's just true anyways. One of my favorite YouTubers just got canceled over that. Lindsay Ellis.
What?
Girl.
Recently?
She deleted her
Oh,
Twitter and everything. It was a mess.
oh, we need to.
Yeah, we're gonna have tea time after the show. But
Yeah, cause.
it's very easy to take things out of context and like not understand where the speaker is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that we have the audience that we do that for the most part. Like I haven't seen anything hateful come across the
Yeah.
board. But this is the time that if you have questions, comments, concerns, to quote over in Ishii, as long as it's in a respectful manner, let's have some discourse. We're here. That's one of the reasons why we do lives like this. It isn't
Mm-hmm.
just to meander and talk shit. There usually is a purpose to it. And we just
Mm-hmm.
end up meandering and talking shit because that's who we are as people.
Yes.
But yeah, like if you liked the episode, awesome. Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
liked the episode a lot. My sister and I were talking about representation issue the other day, and y'all posted the video. We're magic.
Yes.
Wait, Lindsay
Wizards.
Ellis, the YouTuber and author. Yes, that
Yeah.
Lindsay Ellis, formerly the nostalgia chick from Channel Awesome.
Hmm.
Which that was.
Also a thing. I know. Okay, this is. I have to remind myself. This is a Yaoi channel, but oh my gosh, I want to talk.
Do you
Like,
want? Do you want me to?
I
Okay.
want to know
Do
because
you want me to
I.
spill the tea?
Yes.
So basically, Lindsay, like I know her personally.
I mean,
That girl
we
Lindsay
feel
over
like
there.
it.
I don't. I don't feel like I don't feel like at a certain
Mm,
after a certain threshold,
mm.
I no longer feel connected to YouTubers that
When you
way.
get to it,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I know she has like 300,000 followers and almost a million subscribers. She
Hmm.
don't know me.
Right.
Like
Fair.
for us, I know y'all
Hmm.
because we
We
see you
talk
all
to
the
each
time. We
other.
talk to each other. We interact with each other. I
Hmm.
know y'all, but like
Right.
I know Lindsay has like a million subscribers. I know
She's
Natalie
not
has like a
right.
million. She don't know me. She
Right.
doesn't
Like
know
who?
or care about me, and that's
Mhm.
fine. Capitalism. But okay, so
Yes.
long and short, Lindsay had made some comments about Raya and the Last Dragon, and she
Okay.
alluded it to kind of feeling like Avatar: The Last Airbender. She said a lot of young adult fiction feels this way, and basically people got mad because they're saying, well, two Asian things can be different. And again, like I think if you really want to nitpick, you can see racism in that tweet, but I don't. But also, like, for her, there's so many better ways to word that argument because
Hmm.
Avatar was just building on the blocks of Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. Like, every young adult fiction feels like Avatar because
Hmm.
it's every young adult fiction.
Right. Like, wait, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes. No,
Were
not
the
the.
creators? Yeah, right. But is that an Asian show?
So, it rips off a
Because
lot of Asian
right,
motifs.
it's very Asian inspired. But
Yeah, and
when
she had
people
that
are
to say also about
saying,
Raya. And it's like, there's also a conversation buried in there about
mm,
white creators kind of appropriating this stuff for the sake of aesthetic
uh-huh,
rather than substance.
hmm,
Because, like, Raya is no Moana, where, like, Moana is Polynesian, and they did as much as they could to make
yeah,
that as culturally sound as they could, and the movie is about her and her journey.
hmm.
Raya is just like, it's. Do you play Mario Kart? Have you played Mario Kart 8?
I have, but
Okay, so you know how like the Dragon Highway is basically just Rainbow Road but China?
hmm.
I think that's what Lindsay Ellis is kind of saying about this movie. Is that like you could have really made this anything, but you chose to make it Asian? Sort of like
Okay,
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like really, it did not have to be
okay, yeah,
anime-y, Asian-y. Like
right,
you could have just shit. You could have done anything with that. Like the story is so kind of blah because it
yeah,
is. Like I'm not. I like Avatar. I'm not a
yeah,
stan. I think
yeah.
it's again like it's.
Nostalgia for
That's the
me.
thing. I have no nostalgia for it. It's
Oh, see,
fine.
I do, yeah.
I don't have any
Hmm.
nostalgia for it. Like it's perfectly. It's serviceable. I do
Hmm.
have a hard on for Azula.
I mean,
I did want Azula to step on me.
didn't we all?
If you didn't want Azula to step on you, you're in the wrong. You're on the wrong side of history.
Hmm.
You're on the wrong side of history if you didn't want Azula to step on you.
Right.
Oof.
Also, no, I haven't seen Raya either. I've heard good things about it. Um, I
It
I
is very
was
much again, like that's very long and short of it. I really hate that she deleted her Twitter because there's definitely
yeah.
it's one of those things that if you pick at it like anything, you can find racism in there.
Hmm.
Of course you
Oh,
can.
excuse me.
If you
Right.
pick at anything, you can find racism.
Right.
Uh, but at the same time, like I think one thing that I did see from one of her followers before she deleted her Twitter was,
Hmm.
"This is such a nothing tweet for you to have 300,000 followers." And that's fair. I think that's it. It's like that's a hot take that you have too many followers for. And
Like
I
she should
think
have kept it
yeah, like
to
that's
herself.
something that you
Hmm.
say like to your husband or
Oh
like
no, I totally get that. You
cuz
know what? Oh, sorry to cut you
no,
off,
it's
but
okay cuz like
yeah.
I feel like ContraPoints gets in that trouble too. Like
Hmm.
Natalie, I feel like most of her tweets really aren't that bad. Aren't
But
that bad
just
air quotes, but
right.
like you have too many eyes on you
Hmm.
to say it that way.
Yeah. Or it's like because here let's all be real, okay?
Yes.
Like none of us and I usually hate the argument like none of us are perfect, but for real, like
Yeah,
I
no, we're
have
all human.
absolutely made off color comments and jokes around friends and people I feel
Sure.
comfortable, like I mean, like it just it's a thing that a lot of us do, not
Of
everyone,
course.
but a lot of us maybe have friends that we
Yeah.
say weird, like just like weird shit to or whatever.
Right.
um but that's stuff that I would not post. I wouldn't say it publicly because I am cognizant of the fact that this is not something that I want anyone to ever actually hear me say outside of
Right.
my bubble because it's a shitty like
Right, and it's like it's not even like a
yeah.
censorship thing. It's more of just
It's
like
just a
being mature.
politeness.
Right, like it's being mature enough to recognize that like,
Mhm.
hey, that wasn't the most, okay statement. It's
Yeah.
still mine, but
Right.
like not everyone needs to know every unfettered thought I
Yes.
have.
Yes.
Because if you
Yes.
need to know every unfettered thought I have, a lot of it is about Hawks being naked and getting fucked by Dobby. That's a
I
lot of
mean,
my unfettered thought right now.
that's fair.
Like,
I,
and
mhm.
asking why Endeavor is so tall.
How tall is
I
Endeavor?
think he's like 7 feet. He has to be. He's huge.
Too
I
tall.
mean, I feel like as a character, he was created just to out everyone's daddy issues. Because he's very thick, he's very
Hmm.
muscular, and he's very tall. And he's very stern, and he's never happy with anything you've ever done.
See, that's like so different from what my dad looks like. So I don't guess I don't think I have daddy. I have mommy issues.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Daddy issues don't have to look like your dad. That's
Oh.
the thing. Because I have daddy issues.
Or even
Fun
act like
fact.
your dad? Because
Mm-mm.
oh, okay.
And it's about
Yeah, I need.
attachment. It's about
Oh,
it.
okay.
So the whole complex of like a stern, disapproving, imposing man
Hmm.
that you want to make happy, that's a daddy issue.
Okay, yeah, see, no, I don't have that because I am more and more realizing that as much as I say that I am an uke, I very much, I think I'm like a power bottom. Is that what you would call it? I,
Rather than a pillow princess? Okay.
yeah, I think
Well, I mean, uke doesn't just
I
mean.
like to be kind of,
Uke doesn't mean just like lay there flaccid, like with your hole open. That's not what uke
I
means.
mean, I guess that's like the personality type that is
That's not
typically
what uke means.
depicted. When I think of an uke, I think
Okay,
of that
well, that's not
character type.
accurate.
Oh.
And not every sime is a rapist. Not all of them. Some of the. Domeki has been very patient waiting for Yashiro.
Okay. I'll give
Not
it.
everyone.
Okay.
Not all of them. I also love that that's the example I had. Uh, he's just power. He's powerfully stereotypical. He is like he's very much like the
Ah, okay.
Japanese dad, but like tall and thick and on fire.
Oh wait. Okay. I will say the
Yes.
the whole Japanese dad idea that is kind of hot to me. Like that personality type.
See.
Yeah, I that.
And also, daddy issues isn't one thing. We'll talk about this off camera because
Mm,
So fun fact, I learned that I have both an Oedipal and an Electra complex as far as like mommy and daddy issues,
hmm.
which is why like I have a really strong attraction to powerful women who will destroy me.
You know what? Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's that. No, no, no,
What we're
no.
not gonna do is out our kinks on camera.
So here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Okay.
Here's my truth. Okay, because
Okay. Yes.
I'm just
Speak
on
your.
this. I've been on this
Okay.
journey of self discovery
Mm-hmm.
and therapy and realizations.
Uh huh.
And you know how I've always said that I'm always like, ooh, I really love like a kind of boyish, like a kind of boyish, like androgynous woman, like the start, like
That's not
all of
what you
these things,
like.
right? I say this, but it's not actually what I like. It's what I want to be.
I'm so glad
And,
you found that about
right.
yourself.
And so like, and when I started to cut my hair, I was like, oh, oh, this is the aesthetic that I want, not
Right.
the aesthetic that I want to make out with. The
Yeah,
aesthetic I want to make out
a
with
lot of people who are
is
going through like
different.
gender stuff do that where it's like you project what you think you want and then it's like, "Oh no, this is I."
Right? It's like,
Uh
oh.
I mean, Endeavor is attractive in a way that you know you're going to hurt yourself. I'm not gonna call him utter
What does
trash.
he look like? Okay, I'm gonna go over here to Google because
Be
I don't
careful
watch
because
the
you're gonna find
show.
nothing but porn.
That's fine.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, also we got a request to see your pussy, as in the cat.
Mine?
Yeah. The
What?
one that was screaming at you last show. Show the cat.
Oh! I thought you were like pointing out a troll comment or something, and I was like, ew, delete them. What the heck? But
No, see oh my god.
to see, to see,
Show us your cat.
I was so confused. Wait, I'm still trying to see who Endeavor is and what he looks like. Oh, I guess.
I
I
mean,
can't
it's
really tell. All I see is fire pictures. Like he's in flames. Is he in flames all the time?
mostly.
Huh.
We can do this after the show if you want.
Oh yeah. Not so subtle direction. Redirection.
It came out and then I realized how passive aggressive it was and I'm like, regret. Regret.
But we really should get back on track. So
I would be an I have every makeup to being a great southern parent because I've already mastered that like southern passive aggressiveness.
and you're just like, but notice how I pick up on it because I too
It
am
wasn't that
southern,
subtle
and
though.
it really was not.
It really was not subtle at all. I basically just yelled at you. I yelled at you in southern. That's
I
the
can't because the way the tone of your voice changed.
Can you tell I did pageants?
Oh, that was oh my god, that was oh man. I'm like I have tears because just
It's like we can
oh
do
that
that
was
after
so
the show, can't we?
like just the way your voice changed and it was just like oh I just got dragged.
Like, and that's what I love. So there was a
Oh
the take
gosh.
video about shade,
Hmm.
which I actually
I
think is
watched
very
it.
very. It was very very good. I was a little bit
Yes, I was.
concerned.
I was
I
too.
I definitely was concerned.
I was like,
I do trust them, but I was concerned.
right.
They
Yes,
did a great job. But
yes, I agree.
one of the best things about shade is when someone reads you, and then you're like in your car at the stoplight leaving. It's
And you're like,
like this bitch.
what? They just
Because realistically, like
no.
shade should not hit you all at once. It really should be like a delayed attack, where like you're in bed, getting ready to go to, you're about to fall asleep. Like that hoe.
Amanda.
Like
Like this
that to
person.
me is the best kind of shade. Is either one where the other people don't, where if you're in a group and the
Mm.
person it's directed at doesn't get it, but your friends do.
I'm. I will be. I have my moments where I can kind of be, but I think sometimes my shadiness is most of the time it's accidental, and
Right.
people think I'm being shady,
But that's
and
just
I'm
you.
just
Yeah.
like, oh no, I didn't really meant that. Like,
Like no, it's being sincere. Stop.
just like
Stop
no,
doing what you're doing.
right? I was like, no, I'm serious. So yeah, I don't consider myself to be a shady person. I'm either mean or I'm not. Like, there's not really like I
I
don't
think
have
I
nuance, I guess, for
I think
that.
I mastered shade only because one, I'm surrounded by it, being raised by sassy Southern black women,
Hmm.
and then two, um, I also just, in a weird way, I find it almost more elegant because I do think it's a little bit,
Hmm.
I think it's cruel to just be mean to someone.
Oh yeah.
Now, reading you to death, happily, any day and night, planting that like little sleeper cell, and then like you're
Hmm.
driving home, like that hoe, like excellent, sold, I love it. But like
Yeah,
just being mean directly, that's never been my style.
right. And
Like
that's the
that's just
thing
not
is
who I
like
am.
I it's either like I said, it's either mean or not, but I'm very rarely mean. So I'm usually over here just like unnecessarily nice to people sometimes. And I'm like, why am I doing this?
One of my friends shared a
Mm,
graphic, and it was like high functioning anxiety, and one of it was being nice and friendly. And it's like, but what it actually is people pleasing due to fear of being rejected. And it's like,
Dragged.
right? It's just like, why did you break into my house and beat me?
Dragged.
Like how dare you break into my home and beat me over the head? I woke up and now I'm bleeding. It's like I didn't need this.
Well, speaking of you and your tendency to send me freaking
I don't suffer alone. I will send Aisha the most wig snatching memes, and she gets
and I'm just like,
upset.
listen, I don't need to be reminded. I
I
know
don't
these
need to
things
be
about
reminded
myself.
of this fault that
I
I
know this. And then she's like, well, I'm not going to suffer alone. And I'm
I
like,
don't.
no, I'm.
I never suffer alone.
Uh,
I will make you
but
all
the thing
suffer with me.
is that Matt also does this to me
It's
because
okay to
he'll
pop in
send
late.
me,
Hi.
yes, but Matt will he'll like text me and he'll be like, look he'll at work. I'm like, you're supposed to be working, okay?
You're supposed to be
Texting
working,
me memes.
sir.
He's like, this is you, and I'm just like, this is starting to get mean.
Like they're just hateful at a certain point.
I'm just like,
You're just like
do you
at,
want a divorce? Like, what
at
are
a
you?
certain point, it's no longer a read and it's just an insult. It's like,
This is
excuse
like,
me.
jeez. Oh man.
I've had
Anyway,
I've had that happen like once where like a friend thought that it was a read, but really it was just like you're hammering at a point and I'm noticing a pattern. Is there something you need to say to me?
wait, was it me? Was it
No. I
was
would have
was I the friend? Because
no,
I
you were
mean,
not the friend.
because I probably because that sounds like something I would do.
No, you've not done that. I also love that you think that I would out you like that
I
here.
mean, you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
Why do you think so low
I
of
don't.
me?
I
That I
don't.
would.
Okay.
This is not fucking Mari.
Okay. Listen. Therapy
Yes.
time.
Okay.
In complete honesty,
Yes.
it's not that I think that low of you.
It's that
I
that's what
think
you
that
expect
low
from
of
people.
yes.
Okay.
I've realized my therapist has helped me realize that I
You think
think
everyone's trash, and then you're surprised when like one person shows you
yeah,
decency.
like yes, I expect people to treat me in the way that I was treated probably as a child, you know,
Childhood
and it
trauma.
was not great. And
Mm-hmm.
so when people don't treat me that way, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, but I have a hard time believing it. And
That's
so
fair.
eventually I do, and
Yeah.
I'm learning,
Okay.
okay?
I mean,
I'm learning.
we're creeping up on 2 years. I'm not quite sure what I need to do. What
I
did you want?
mean,
What did you come into? Apparently therapy.
right. Therapy. Yes, Danae. Therapy.
Ask us questions, because like I said, if you don't ask us
Yeah.
questions, this is what we do.
Yes.
I found the shady graphic. So high functioning anxiety, what you see, detail oriented, what they're experiencing, overthinking. What you see, outgoing, what they're experiencing, people pleasing. What you see, active, inability to slow down. Super helpful, trouble saying no. Hardworking, fear of failure, performs well under pressure, procrastinating or over planning, loyalty, poor boundaries. Right, it's just.
Aisha has left the chat and she will not be coming back. No, we're
She
done.
posted this in like a meme group that we're all in. It's like, can I help you?
That
Can I do something for you?
that cut deep.
That
Okay.
hurt. Poor boundaries. You don't know me or my life.
Okay, you know what's funny?
Yes.
I'm actually embarrassed because so
Just
in one of my
reading upon arrival.
in one of right in one of my therapy sessions because like we do partially like because it's through Regain or whatever BetterHelp, and so like I sometimes we're texting, um, and and then sometimes we're face to face.
Mhm.
And at one point he mentioned something about like he something about my lack of my issue with boundaries or whatever, and
Yeah.
I immediately was like, excuse me. I was like, I don't have issues. Oh, I don't have issues with boundaries. I respect people's boundaries. But then later on, I realized that that's not, he
That's not what he
wasn't,
meant.
that's not what he meant.
That was not.
He meant you.
I love this one. Damn, I came for BL and got dragged by the sidelines. Accurate.
Listen,
Okay, no, real
listen.
talk. These are two black women that are in therapy.
Hmm.
Now, if you get
It,
traumatized, that's a bad therapist.
yes, yes, there are bad therapists out there, just like there are
Yeah.
bad teachers, bad
Bad
everything.
doctors, bad
Yes,
everything.
yes, yes. So,
They're, yeah, just like
yes,
Kurose.
it exact. Unless you want that, unless you want
Unless that's the kind of therapy you want, and then that's a different kind of therapy.
right, mm,
It's called prostitution.
right.
It's called buying a prostitute. Uh, but there's
But that's very valid. Actually,
Rupee to 10 count.
one of my good friends is in school, right? She went back to school to become a therapist, and she did this because she had bad experiences
Right.
with therapists, and also it can be expensive as well.
It can be.
So like there are a lot of things that factor into it. But I don't think it's like it's hard because I don't want to I get those reasons. I get that.
Yeah.
But also it's like I don't want to discourage anyone. And I hate to say like you just have to keep trying to find the right one, but I
I
don't
mean,
know.
but
It's
yeah,
just
but like
hard.
you do, like that's the thing, and like, and that's what
Yeah.
sucks, and like,
Hmm.
because like I had that with doctors recently. I mean, Aisha knows about my experience with doctors.
Hmm.
Where like I had, unfortunately, it was a race thing. I had a
Hmm.
doctor that was very, very shitty, and almost got me to stop going to doctors for a while,
Right.
despite the myriad of chronic health conditions I have, where I really can't afford to not see a doctor.
Hmm.
I was pretty much done, but like, yeah, you kind of do have to test and feel, and
Yeah.
that sucks. Trust me, there is. But the cool thing with therapy is that, like, most of the time, you know a bad therapist very quickly. I'm not gonna say all
Mm-hmm.
the time, but most of the time, like, you know immediately when you're not gonna mesh,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
like, it's okay if you don't. Keep
Hmm.
trying. I'm kind of with Aisha, but I'm gonna be a little bit more on the. I'm gonna be a little bit firmer because I guess I'm the dad
Hmm.
in this relationship as Sime. Um, if therapy is what you need, because realistically, not everyone needs it.
Right.
If
Yeah.
therapy is what you need, it is something that you should try. Now, I will
Hmm.
also say that cognitive behavioral therapy is almost nothing without seeing a medical professional to discuss brain chemistry.
Hmm.
Because if you're not in the right chemical mindset, you can't accept therapy.
Excuse me. Yeah, we've talked about that.
We've
Like
talked
about.
about that a lot because, like,
Hmm.
I know I'm just past my 1 year of being back on meds
Hmm.
after not being on them for like 5+ years.
Hmm.
I couldn't have been in the mindset to accept therapy
Oh.
before I was on my medication. I
Hmm.
would have laughed at the guy. It's like, fuck you. You don't know my life. So what? My parents are dead. Pew, 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 pew. You know?
Right. For real though, because I would just sit there and be like, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. Like, just I'm
Yeah, I'm
fine.
doing great. What are you talking
What? Like,
about?
look at my life. It's so great. Whereas deep down inside, I'm like, So
Right.
definitely meds. Listen,
If you need
that
them.
was if you need
If
them,
you need them.
if you feel that they will help you.
I don't want to say
No.
that. If you need them.
Okay.
Because
That,
because
if your
when
doctor
you're
tells you you
because
need,
when you're sick, you still probably don't think you need them.
this is true because
I thought I was
yeah.
great being suicidal.
You
Apparently,
know
that's
what?
not healthy.
You know what?
Apparently,
That is fair. That is definitely a
yeah.
fair.
I thought
Yes.
I was still doing
Hmm.
great. Ask any of my friends.
Yes. If
I was
yes.
not doing
I
great.
was gonna say like the fact that Mr. Manga like sat down and was like, "Hey, I think you should try such
I
and
would have.
such."
I would have Tyler Perry crimed my husband.
Well,
I wish you all the luck. Do you want me to light you a
yeah,
candle?
for
Because
real, for real.
we will
Because
light candles.
oh, and you have the have you been lighting? Do you light the? I don't know what that meant, but the black the protection candle that
So
I
I
sent.
haven't, but I'm going to because I
It's
have a
a full
giant scratch on
moon,
my shoulder.
bitch. Okay, I'm actually upset because I sent that to you for
You
your
did,
birthday,
and I love it. And I
and
just
You were
haven't lit it.
supposed to.
I have the longest scratch on my shoulder that won't heal
That's, you know why?
because
You
I
know
had
why?
demons.
You know why? Because you didn't
Because I didn't light the
utilize
candle.
the gift that
Because
I
I can't.
sent you.
It's on. It's like on the shelf. It's beautifully displayed. I just haven't lit.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Tyler Perry crime. I would have Tyler Perry crimed my husband if he said you need medication.
Well, because listen, I try like we've been together for so long,
I know, but like
like.
I'm just thinking of like because I know I had a similar thing with a friend where because I was kind of talking. And this is like right before I started my medication again.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I don't like this. I don't like anything. And she was like, that's like a symptom of depression. I was ready to fucking fight. I was ready to square up. It's like, excuse me? You gonna tell me what depression is? Like, I was ready.
Like yelling.
Like, I was ready to fucking.
Wait, wait. What is this a meme?
It's probably a meme.
I'm.
It's probably a meme
old.
we're too old for.
Yeah.
But
You
like,
know
I was
what?
ready to square up. Like, I'm trying to think of like if my boyfriend or like my husband had said that, I would have done a Tyler Perry crime. Absolutely. Like, you're getting
I'm
run
not
over.
sure exactly. I
You're
think
getting hit with hot grits. I'm
right.
gonna push you out of your wheelchair. Like something's gonna happen. It's gonna be petty.
He caught me on it. He caught me
Oh, he
like
got you on a good day.
on a
Okay,
good day.
because
It was, yeah, and I think it was after one of the times when I like completely fucked up my hair,
okay.
um, and was like sitting there just like I think there's something wrong with me.
Okay, because I like I said, I don't know what kind of mindset I would need to be able to
To
graciously
accept
receive that
it, yeah,
message.
and I was just
Because yeah, there would have been a Tyler Perry crime.
yeah, like
There is
I
no.
was.
I cannot think of a person alive that probably could have said that to me.
And
That
not
would
and
not.
lived.
Yeah, that would not be on the receiving end of like hot grits at least.
Oh, that. Okay, I have seen that.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
My mom's dead. I don't know about that.
See, this is why I hate you.
I don't have a mom.
You're
What is this?
well, you know what's funny is I don't talk to mine. So,
Yeah, you don't really have a mom either. So
I mean, well, I do have a stepmother, and I like her.
oh, that's
So,
nice.
that's nice.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I had a brief run-in with someone who might have been my stepdad, but
Mm.
he was a bad person, and it
Oh,
caused
I
me
know
to
all about
almost
that.
fight. It caused me to
Yeah.
almost fight a pastor and his wife.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
I was ready to. If you think I'm pugnacious now, imagine how I was when I was young and had energy.
Oh gosh, I can just picture. Like I can just picture you,
Just
the little arms and legs.
like fucking Scrappy Doo, just like. I will say, I never fought someone who didn't deserve it.
That's fair. That is, you know what? Side note.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to know that I
Yes.
guarantee you, no one's gonna ask questions because you know what they like to do. They like to sit here and listen to us just talk about whatever. And
Is that why y'all don't ask us questions? Is because like
I
this
think
isn't
that's why.
you shady hoes. I did say wheelchair, and what? I think that was like was that Diary of a Mad Black Woman, or was it oh god which one was it where like the guy gets paralyzed after abusing her and like he
Oh,
was that Diary of a Mad Black Woman? They
was
all
that?
run to or was it Family Reunion?
No.
You don't know what to ask about. Did you listen to the episode? That was shady. I'm sorry.
That was. Wait.
Water bottle. Bad Amanda. Shade.
Right.
It was Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Yes.
Okay.
Where,
Yeah.
like he's
I was like, I think
paralyzed.
so.
They all run together.
Did he fall down some steps or something? Was that what
No,
happened?
she pushed him.
Oh, that's right.
She
Oh,
pushed him.
I remember I cackled. Like I
my-
laughed so hard.
Everyone did. But okay, but also like real talk. Even if he's abusive, don't do that to a disabled person. Like
I mean,
like real talk. Don't do that.
you know what though? If he abused, I, I I want to agree with you fully, but also I'm just like, you know what?
That's
If
just
he,
so
but
that's
he
so
abu-
hateful.
but he's
That's
but it's hateful
that's
for him
so
to be
but
abusive.
okay, but like 600 pound life has that problem where it's like these like bedbound
Mm.
people and their enablers keep feeding them. It's like, oh, but he's mean if I don't bring him food. He's bedbound. He pees in a
Yeah,
bag. What he gonna
yeah.
do to you? What hand he gonna
Okay,
raise up?
yeah.
Like what?
That's
Because I there was
that's
a guy
fair.
he was like
Dang.
800, 900 pounds,
Mm.
completely bedbound,
Couldn't
like
do, yeah.
hasn't seen his feet or his dick in like 10, 15 years.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh well, he's abusive when he doesn't get what he wants. What he gonna do? What he gonna do to you? Yell?
That, yeah, yeah.
Turn the music up. What is he going to do to you?
That's fair. I think, okay, it's the revenge. It's that there's like a little, as
I
nice
mean, yeah,
as I am, there's a nugget
but that's why we get it in
of
fiction.
revenge.
That's why we get it in fiction, because like in real life, that's still
Yes.
a crime.
Right. Because it was just so oh wait, I almost gave spoilers for a movie. We'll talk about it later. Have you
Okay.
seen, wait, but have you, let me ask if you've seen it. Have you seen Midsummer? Have you watched?
Yes. Yes. That,
Okay.
yeah. Also same. Yes. What were you saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh, uh,
Or like
it
any of my
felt
favorite,
so good.
or like any of my favorite movies, like Kill Bill or Django Unchained.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
yeah, great catharsis. Don't do that. I love Once Upon a
Yeah.
Time in Hollywood. If you flamethrower a bunch of people, that's still a crime, even if they deserved it.
It makes me think of he had it coming.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
I'm too shy for
Oh,
questions. Let's dive
that's
into this a little.
fair.
No, it's
That's,
not.
yeah, it is.
Well, because
That's fair.
you have the barrier of the internet. It's because like I get
Uh,
that in person. Like if I was paneling and we're in person,
mhm.
I have a very strong aura despite being 5'1".
Mm.
If you think this is intimidating, imagine me in person. Like that I get, but like you
Mm.
have the barrier of the internet. I physically can't do anything to you. I'm trapped
You,
in this. I'm
we,
trapped in the screen.
I can't. It makes me think of like, what you gonna do? Beat my ass?
Right?
No,
Like,
like.
like
Also, even if I could reach through the screen, like look at my arm. Do you see? What is this gonna do? What is what is
what what is she gonna do?
what am I gonna do to you? I was gonna call them cinnamon sticks, but I can't even call them cinnamon
Yeah, cinnamon's
sticks.
darker, honey. Cinnamon's a little darker. I I wait. You're 5'1".
Just very small.
Can I help you? Is there something I can do for you? Can I
Oh
help
no!
you?
Oh no!
Yeah, you can judge. I mean, yeah, obviously. Like, like I can't refute that. But I would. I mean, I would try not to. I mean, I, I don't believe there's no such thing as a stupid question because there are. But like my definition of stupid is like the ones that just don't need to be asked. Like I'll get during panels sometimes like, well, in your opinion, what makes you qualified to run this panel? My dick's bigger than yours is what qualifies me.
Right. That that
I've
would.
gotten that.
Ooh.
I liked that Amanda felt Edward's representation for her. You're welcome. Edward is on my breast right now.
Mm.
Yeah, Edward was great representation for me because yeah, like at the time I started watching Full Metal Alchemist, I was only a few years removed from losing my dad.
Mhm.
And Ed's journey of just like self actualization and everything, that really struck me because, and I mean, not to drag Lindsay Ellis into this again, but like
Mhm.
Lindsay Ellis, when she talks about Guardians of the Galaxy, she talks about losing her dad. And she says that one thing that happens when you lose a parent young is that there's this desire to make them sort of like a deity.
Mhm.
And by the age of like 15, 16, when I was watching this show, I was already starting to question the deity I made of my dad. So seeing him kind of having to come to terms with the monster that he built
Mhm.
because of his hubris and everything like that really was very powerful to me. And it didn't matter that he didn't look like me. Like none of that shit
Mhm.
mattered.
Mhm.
Just art. It felt like I went from walking on a path by myself to having someone with me. And that was really fucking powerful and cool to
Hmm.
have at like 15, 16.
Right. You know, it's interesting that, and I didn't mention this because it is not manga at all, but like most people don't know that one of my favorite books is Anne of Green Gables. And like I and Shirley doesn't, well, okay, we were both skinny. I was also painfully skinny at that anyway. So I did relate to her with that,
Mm-hmm.
but if any of y'all have read Anne of Green Gables or watched any of the shows or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it's just about this girl who is very much an outsider in her area for the,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. And I related to her. I related a lot to her story. We didn't live in the same place, didn't look alike. Like we had different lives, but there was this aspect that I could
Mm-hmm.
relate to, and we didn't have. You can find representation for yourself or for parts of yourself really anywhere.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be someone who looks like you or
Mm-hmm.
even lives the exact same, life. There's going to be some sort of
Now, is it cool? So, like, for me, I had like a race euphoria moment with
mm,
Pokemon when I could have a little black avatar.
mhm,
And I didn't
mhm.
know that was something that bothered me until it was something that I could have an option for. When you're
Right.
used to it being the default, when you suddenly have an option, it's like, oh fuck.
Whoa, I can make it
And
look like
then
this.
what was amazing was because I played X and Y, which let you
Mhm,
choose the race of your character.
mhm.
I think there was like another game or so that came in between, and there was Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Mm,
And that one defaulted you. You could not choose your race again. And that really bothered me. Okay,
mm.
it was X and Y Sun and Moon, sorry. So I had like two or three games that let me change the race of my character, and I was really grooving. I liked having a little character that could
Mhm,
like change clothes and like this is me, whatever, like this is physically me on my Pokemon journey.
mhm.
And then when I got to a game that didn't let me again, I was like, I don't like this. I don't who is this white girl? I don't know
Right,
her. That's not
right.
me.
Oh yeah, it's just mentioning games. So I used to play this mobile game called Nikki. It's like dress up Nikki. Do you know it?
Of course I know that one. Of course
When I tell you I was obsessed, obsessed.
I can
But
see that for you.
when I'm not even talking about it. It's not on my phone anymore. Anyway, so when they came out with new skins, like actual
Mhm.
skin colors,
Mhm.
I nearly shit my pants. I was so excited because like I'd been playing with this, I had like I think you could get like a tan
Off
shade, which
off brown, yeah.
right, like
Vague
who
brown.
right, exactly. But they finally added like some more skins, which now I'm talking about it, it kind of I'm not download no, Aisha, don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah, like it is really exciting when when you're used to a certain default and then you get the choice to make something look a little bit more like
Mhm.
you or maybe what you're used to seeing in your everyday
Mhm.
life. Um, but also you can but I can still, find
Right. Like
representation
I
in other
still
ways too.
exactly.
Mhm.
I think it's a balance, and it's also like where are you looking? So like
Mhm.
real talk, I don't really think that there's a reason why most video games that you're playing as like an OC or something like that
Mhm.
should not have that option. I think
Mhm.
99% of video games are like you're playing as an original character or whatever,
Mhm.
you should have skin tone options that are pretty varied. So
Right.
like in the most recent Soul Calibur, to out myself as a bro because I play fighting games and shit.
I now that I know this is why we're because
I have a fight stick and everything. Like I'm a bro.
okay, I love
I'm
it.
a dude bro. Like so in the most recent Soul Calibur,
Mm,
you have like the main cast of characters from Soul Calibur, and you have
mhm.
like a character creator. In the character creator, there's a bunch of skin tone options. That makes sense because if it's gonna be like me fighting, yes, there's a character creator.
The the wait, okay.
Yes,
When is this out already?
yes, completely. It's been out for a couple years.
What is it? What
Soul
like
Calibur 6.
Okay, what console?
PS4. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Did you see how my
I'm
face lit
so
up?
sorry.
Because
I was
for
you were
all the
so
shit that I'm talking about
okay. So you can do
representation.
PS4 or Xbox One.
Oh, okay, okay,
Okay,
okay,
okay, okay. We're good.
okay,
We're good.
okay.
Okay. Oof. Oh God.
Because
I feel
I was
that
like,
was real disappointment. Oh my God. That
for
was real
all,
that was actual disappointment.
for,
I told my child Santa's not real. Oh my God.
for all the shit that I'm talking about representation, um,
That sounds awesome, doesn't it?
yes, because I was like,
Yeah.
that's like, because like teen, like preteen me, kid me would have loved because like I would, I grew up playing Tekken and Soul Calibur and
Soul
all
Calibur
like,
2.
yes, those are some of my
Okay.
favorite games.
So now
Because
we need to know who was your main Soul Calibur 2. If we have the same main, I'm going to fight. We're going to have an issue.
oh my gosh, I
Because I
have
think
to.
we have the same main. We're both gay. We're both black and repressed. I think we have the same main. You first. I will not bend.
Nightmare, not night. That was not mine. I
That was
didn't
not
play
mine
as.
either.
I didn't. Nightmare actually scared me.
He did, yeah, he did. Especially like in the
He was
early
like
games, he was not
he
hot at
was
all. He was just like,
no, he
he was
was
just scary.
right. Um,
Gay, black, and repressed. What a tagline. Our childhoods.
so I have to like. I'm
Answer the
really bad at.
question.
Well, I can't remember her name. I'm bad at names.
Describe her. Because I know the names. Because of course I do. I don't have anything else. Maxie
Oh
was
my
good.
gosh.
Maxie was very. They also made him a gay pirate in 6.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh, I forget that I can freaking.
Yeah,
Um,
they made him a gay pirate in 6. So
excuse me. Oh my gosh, hold on. Like,
while Aisha dies, while Aisha dies slowly off
oh my
camera.
gosh, I don't know what the heck that was.
That's why I
Okay,
had.
so
That's why I
I
got a drink.
liked. Oh crap, what's her name? She has the buns. The buns girl.
What else did she? What weapon was
Didn't she
hers?
have buns? Hold on.
Weapon.
I mm, I can't remember.
Oh
It's
my
been
god.
so long. Hold on.
It has not been that long. I was gonna say, how long has it been since Soul Calibur?
Wait, not no wait. I lied. She doesn't have buns, but it's like the girl. She's the. Is she redheaded? I think she's a redhead. Hold on, or maybe brown hair. Oh, oh,
I
where'd you
hit
go?
refresh. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like, where'd you go?
I hit Soul.
I
I hit
think
refresh.
so. I think she has fans.
Fans?
Like, um, fighting. Her
Fighting.
fighting.
Yes. The genre of
Fighting.
game. Yes. I was gonna Google how long it's been since Soul Calibur 2, and it hurts, so I don't want to talk about it.
How long?
Its initial release date was in 2002, which I don't want to because I still have my original copy with my memory cards from my GameCube, which is how a string of words in a sentence that should tell you exactly how old I am. Are you thinking of Talim?
I am actually like so. I'm looking on because I'm looking on a website right now because I'm like, what the heck is her name?
Uh huh.
Um, hmm.
I love how this is a
I
Google.
like. I know.
This is
I like Talem, but I don't think that she was my.
okay.
And
So
I
you don't have the because we don't have the same main. Because Talum was mine.
Okay.
I mained Talum so hard,
Um,
and I still do.
Mine was, what the crap was her name?
Did you just? I
It's,
was a child. Yeah. Okay.
oh
Fuck
gosh.
both of y'all.
I was, so I was 16, 15, 16,
I was 12.
16. Yeah. Yeah. I was I was driving.
I was
Um,
in junior high
you
at a
was a
Catholic
baby.
school.
I went to public school.
I had uniforms. I had to go to mass every Wednesday.
Wait, are y'all taking screenshots? Sometimes I do wish that people would like
I would love fan
screenshot
art. Like
because like
if y'all would do stuff with what we do, like that just might be my narcissism and my desire to
oh,
continue to live on past death.
it's
Like,
definitely mine because y'all know I have like some like, look at this. This
yes, you have a
has,
painting of yourself.
yes, this was a gift. It was gifted to me,
And that's
and it's so
fine. I think like as long
beautiful, and I love it, and I want more things of my face drawn by other people.
yeah, if you guys like I think we've said this before, like we accept fan art and shit. Do it.
I mean, and you can send me a Venmo or a Cash App, and or your thing, and I'll send you money. So,
I was thinking of Tara, but I know can't draw. It's okay. You can uh
ooh, excuse me.
what do you mean you didn't know? We said it before. We have 100% said before that you can do fan art of us. But yeah, I main Talum super hard because I was a repressed. I think like usually the okay, so the repressed gay man main is Ivy.
Okay, am I a repressed gay man?
You might
Because
be.
Ivy was hot.
I mean, she was hot, but like that was like their main. Or
Uh
in
huh.
Smash Brothers, it was like Jigglypuff.
I'm feeling very dragged right now because Jigglypuff is my favorite Pokemon.
Are you feeling a little called out? Are you feeling just a little bit called out? Amanda knows too much.
The way like I was not expecting the Jigglypuff part at all. Like that just completely cemented. I was like, oh, that was me. But I don't think Ivy was really my main. I do remember playing with her a lot. I actually played with all the women. Like I was kind of very like, I don't think I had a main. I just like to play. Like the only woman that I didn't like, what is her? Like there's like, I think there's a woman.
Are you thinking of
I want
Xinghua with the
to.
bows in her hair? She had like the
Ooh,
she had
ooh.
the thin sword. She had the Chinese sword.
Oh, actually, wait. Maybe.
How to know you were genderqueer as a 6-year-old? You mained Maxie in Nightmare and were never sure who you loved. I can how I knew I was genderqueer was when we played Sailor Moon on the park on the uh, playground. I said that I wanted to be Tuxedo Mask,
Uh,
which should have been a
it's
sign.
upsetting. It's upsetting tuxedo. I mean, I guess aesthetically, I get it, but
I wanted to be Tuxedo Mask. I didn't want to be like Sarita or anything. I wanted to be Tuxedo Mask, like from an early age.
hmm,
Feel like family should have listened to me a little bit.
right. But you know, we black.
Also, like cute parent moment. My dad learned Jesse's part of the Team Rocket anthem so I could be James.
Oh, that's so cute. That is very cute.
But I think like real talk, a lot of '90s kids like played on that gender line because they were just starting to break down some of those like girls could be a little bit more tomboyish and it was more
Mm-hmm.
okay. Because
Yeah.
I think like that's when I say like I wish my parents had listened to me, but also like no, because they probably would have pushed me to transition because they would have been like, oh well,
Mm,
Amanda thinks she's a boy. It's like no, I
mm-hmm.
don't. I just have
Right.
some boyish tendencies, which led to me being genderqueer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I think there was this interesting part of the '90s where like I feel like a lot of us were like that. We were just like weird and radical and did whatever we wanted. And of
Hmm.
course, I'm acknowledging like the money and privilege I had of being like middle class and shit like that.
Right,
Like I'm
yeah.
acknowledging all that and having two parents at the time that were alive and
Hmm.
that relatively loved me and shit like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I feel like a lot of us were just like weird and shit like that. And
I mean, I definitely, uh, the fact that I like hentai and lust after like animated characters is not surprising. And, because of how I grew up in the 90s as far as like what I watched and what I saw.
mhm.
So, I mean, I think a lot of us we're just weird
Yeah,
in like a good way, like,
the
in my
90s were the
opinion.
90s were a hell of a drug.
Like, I just think about all the shows that had like anthropomorphic,
Okay, we
animal
grew up during
characters.
similar times, and I'm not a deviant furry, so you're gonna cut that the fuck out.
Oh,
Though I
oh,
will
side.
say, yeah, no, you go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
You first.
No, you go first.
I was rewatching The Rescuers because it's one of my favorite movies. It is one of my favorite movies, and I'm like, Miss Bianca can get it.
She's so
So
cute.
cute, and voiced by Ava Gabor.
Yes.
That little like bedroom voice, like Miss Bianca.
She is fire. When I tell
Miss
yes.
Bianca, like it's like I personally don't see it, but like if someone were to
But I
say
get it. You know
like
what I
if yeah, like
mean?
if someone were to like if someone was older, like that was my sexual awakening, it's like, you know what?
Mm.
Miss Bianca could
Can get
Miss
it.
Bianca could get it. Shit.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, it's, I just, like the Goofy movie.
Mm-mm.
Um, Max, I thought
Mm-mm.
he was cute, and the
Nope.
girl Roxanne, I thought she was fine.
Nope.
I also was lusting after Lola Bunny
Mm-mm.
when I watched Space Jam.
Mm-mm.
I thought she was, like
You know
it's.
it, but I think it's telling that there's like, is there a movie? Is it a movie about mice? Yes. You've never seen The Rescuers?
Hmm.
Thank you, person of culture who loves The
Yes,
Rescuers.
yes.
It was one of my favorite movies as a kid. That
Hmm.
and The Great Mouse Detective,
Oh, that's a good
which I
one.
feel like says a
Yeah.
lot about me. Like
Yes.
because
It
Radigan is
tracks.
because Radigan is the ultimate bitter ex-boyfriend. What is his relationship to Basil? What the fuck?
Oh my gosh. This is so
Leave and come back to furry crushes. Shush.
yes, yeah.
No, I didn't
Mm.
like cartoons when I was young. Really? You know,
Interesting.
I love animation of all kinds. I think I mentioned that in our episode, or did that get cut too? Shady. She, I'm putting a coin in the shade jar. I'm acknowledging that. I'm acknowledging.
Wait! Yes! Purple
Yes.
Ghost Quest was one of my favorites.
Okay, but Don Bluth hates kids. Like it's obvious. Like have you like you seen Don Bluth movies? He clearly hates children.
I don't. Okay,
Yes, you
what
have.
else?
Land Before Time, Five Will Goes West,
Oh,
An
okay.
American Tale, Thumbelina,
All of my
Anastasia,
favorites. All of my
Anastasia.
favorites.
Yeah, you've seen Don Bluth movies. I
Yeah,
love Don Bluth as an animator. Rockadoodle, one of my favorites.
it's also
He
great.
clearly hates children because those Secret of Nim.
I didn't see. I never put two and two together that those were all
Yeah,
his
that's all
work.
Don
Like
Bluth,
I did not. I've seen all of these
and
movies
he's
and did
still
not know.
alive, and he's still upset about Disney, and that's fine. But like his movies, he clearly hates kids because they all have a traumatizing part in it that is like it goes too far. It's like
Mm,
all of his
I mean,
movies.
to this day, because I was really young when The Land Before Time came out,
Yes.
and I will never forget. I like have this vivid memory of me in like this, like I guess I was like maybe in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
um, and in the living room. The
Mm-hmm.
on the TV was Land
Mm-hmm.
Before Time, and
Mm-hmm.
I had walked into the kitchen and was like looking
Mm-hmm.
through, and the sad part happens,
Yes.
and that memory has stuck with me
Yeah,
to this
it's
day. Like when I think of that movie, I immediately think
and
of
it's
that
like it's a
moment.
different kind of sad because okay, it's like I use my friend's Disney Plus.
Oh.
I don't care if you can hear me, Disney. I use my friend's Disney Plus. Oh, we have a
Mm-hmm.
question. We'll get back
Oh,
to me. I do have a question. What's advice for someone who wants to put out their work, but is hesitant to do so? Is that at me? Is that for me?
I would think so.
Is that
Yeah.
is
I
that for
mean,
me?
I
Oh,
assume for like, yeah, for
is,
fanfic.
is, I'm being a dork. I'm sorry. I swear to drunk I am not God. Don Bluth did
Excuse me.
Anastasia. Yeah, he did Anastasia, and Once Upon a Forest. Yes, but to do if you're hesitant to, I think okay. So step one, acknowledge your hesitancy and know that your feelings are valid. Because like I think like that's I'm not gonna tell you like jump in the pool and just fucking do it. I think that's I'll say it softly, but like that's never going to be like all of my advice. I'm going to say acknowledge your hesitancies because you have them for a reason. I believe in like the biological response to like anxiety and fear is that you have it for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I am anxious because something in my brain is telling me there's a reason to be anxious,
Mm-hmm.
not just because I'm sick. It doesn't help that I'm sick, but like something in my mind told me that I have a reason to feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then, as critically as you can, deconstruct that hesitancy. Figure out why. And I don't want to say like again, like I'm not saying discredit your feelings, but challenge them. That's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of what the human condition recently has been about is challenging why you feel that way. So like for me, I didn't publish fan fiction for a long time before I started doing it again because I mean I was one of the old smut lords of the internet
Mm-hmm.
and I stopped for like 10 plus years, probably more like 15. And I just recently got back to publishing. So I had to examine my reasons why I wasn't. Well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
concerned about it being problematic by the kids. Fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you flag all your stuff 18 plus, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's
Yeah.
not a reason to have that feeling. Well, what if I'm not good? If Stephanie Meyer can release a book and make millions, you can too. Like, just lovingly challenge those hesitancies
Mm-hmm.
but still acknowledge them. Like I don't want to take them away from you. Like I still there are things that are in like my archives that aren't getting published because
Mm-hmm.
they're too problematic. And Aisha wants upon my death.
I want them.
I could just
So
send you links. Like it's not like you
I
have
guess
to,
that's well. This is but
but it's more dramatic for you to wait till I
yes,
die.
yes. I love the drama. You know I love the theatrics.
Aisha's gonna show up to my funeral, my untimely funeral, in all white with like a hard drive, just waiting. Uh, I feel like my artwork isn't good enough. No one thinks they're good.
Right. Okay.
No one
This.
that we can
Oof.
both speak to.
Yes.
Every time people show up to these live streams, I'm genuinely shocked.
Hmm.
Anytime
Yes.
someone listens to our show, because like I'll message Aisha like stats and stuff, and it's
Mhm.
not to be
It stresses
braggadocious.
me out.
It's
I don't think I've ever said it, and don't stop doing it. But like, because I'm always like, oh God, I don't.
a
If I
hundred people
think
heard
about
me.
it, ooh,
It's pressure. It is, but
yes.
it's like I will send them almost like oh shit, like this
Hmm.
isn't just us speaking into a vacuum.
Yeah, like
Because it
people
kind of
are
feels that way
watch. Yeah.
sometimes. I mean, like in
Hmm.
the best kind of way, because I get to talk to like a friend that I like a lot about a
Yeah,
thing I
but
like a lot.
right.
But
But
like,
then you put when we're going through the extra, we could like the conversations we have, we could have them and then go
yeah,
on. But
yeah,
like
and we do
we
sometimes.
we do sometimes, but it's fun to like open it up to other people. So we,
Sure,
in order to do that, we have to put in the work to do that. And so it's not, it's just like it's nice to get feedback, but it's also scary because you're
it
like, oh my
is.
gosh, what if people don't like this? Like
And
I'm
if
putting this
anything,
out
like
here.
take any so as a female presenting black queer person on the
Hmm.
internet and who panels, I get
Hmm.
a lot of critique. Not all of it is helpful, but I do try to
Hmm.
find uh more people to quote whenever you say something weird. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. But like I get a lot of critique that's not helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a lady leave one of my panels because I said that a woman's life shouldn't end because of a penis.
Mm-hmm.
I said the very controversial statement of saying a relationship shouldn't end a woman's journey.
Right. I'm confused as to why
She like huffed loudly, like you can hear it on the audio. She's like, ugh! And she gets up and she leaves for that very controversial statement about basic human rights and gender equality.
right.
So I get a
Okay.
lot of feedback that's not helpful,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but sometimes there's something that's buried in it. Like I got a really, really long review that basically, I didn't think the panelist was good, blah, blah, blah. She wasn't funny. But in it
Mm-hmm.
was a statement about me swearing too much.
Mm.
And it's like, okay, you're still a cunt for saying it this way.
Yeah. But also, or
But
and
also,
yeah.
that little nugget, valid.
Mm-hmm.
I do swear a lot sometimes, as I call that person a cunt. Like,
I think.
that's a valid nugget in a bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I will say that that show that it says a lot for okay for you to be able to have for you to have been able to look at that and like temper your I guess temper your emotions enough to like get that nugget
No,
out.
no, 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 no,
No,
no. It
okay.
was not a graceful experience.
Because I
I was mad for
don't.
days.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about it, which is why I brought it up. There was nothing graceful or enlightened about that experience. It was me
You just have
calling
hindsight.
yeah, it was me calling my co-panelist ready to square the fuck up. This was not a graceful. It wasn't like, okay, so I'm gonna throw way back. Remember, like in Kung Fu Panda, when
Mm-hmm.
Oogway goes to die,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that was not what happened. I did not lovingly go into that good night. I was ready to fucking punch a bitch. I got really defensive. I got upset. I got in my feelings. I took it personally. I did all those things that cancers do. And then,
I forgot that. And you know I'm a Cancer moon.
yeah, I did all those things that cancers do. I mean, it took me a while to be this serene about it. But when I first got that review, no, it was not a gracious and beautiful. Thank you
Oh,
for
thank you so
coming.
much.
I appreciate your feedback. It was eat my ass, bitch.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, like that was the first response was eat my ass and
Tell me why my horoscope. So this horoscope app that I use, I
Nebula.
get yes, I get notifications, and I've been really enjoying it. And one of them was like, you need to. One of them basically was telling me that I needed to come to terms with my inability to accept criticism.
Well,
Bitch, nobody asked you.
yeah, no one asked you, Linda.
Like,
Even if I
and then
don't
I
all
sat
the
there and I was
things.
like, oh,
I am
that's
so
what
glad
it
that we can
means.
touch you, like in that way, like not in a
Oh,
way that
that's
you
so
don't think is.
sweet.
That's really sweet. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Janae. Like, let me just shout Janae out though, because Janae has been rocking with like not even like just Mama Love, but like
Everything you do.
everything that I've done, and I'm just like,
I love that you have stands to that degree, and I get to like ride on the coattails of your fame.
I'm gonna kick you first when we meet. The
Wait,
first thing I'm doing is stepping on. Well, first of all,
I'm hitting you. Firstly,
I'm
you're
like
accepting me punching you for all the bullshit you've thrown,
that's fine. That's fine.
and then after that, you get to kick me.
And then after that, I'm gonna like because I'm like a whole like half a foot taller than you are,
Yeah,
so
you
I'm
are.
definitely gonna like
Okay, so in that person's defense about me cursing,
mm,
he did make a good. I'm gendering this person he. I think it was a guy because they're usually the ones that leave the least helpful critiques on my panels.
oops ah
Uh,
pushing buttons, my bad.
but I think like the point he was making was that like it undercut, in his opinion, the points that I was trying to make because he found profanity like as a weakness to an argument. Which,
Mm,
okay, if you're like 1,000 years old
mm-hmm.
and I'm writing an essay, yes, I would not write an essay like that.
Right.
It wasn't an essay, it was a panel at an anime convention at like 10 o'clock at night. So, like, I get his point, but
Hmm.
also, like, yeah, like, I wouldn't write a blog post that way. Even though I do swear occasionally in blog posts. Not that
Hmm.
much, but I do.
Yeah.
Like, but, like, yeah, like, I wouldn't write an essay that way. If I was giving, like, a webinar, I wouldn't speak that way.
Hmm.
I wasn't. I was doing a panel at an anime convention at night. But
Why
I mean,
was
it
he
is.
there?
Why was he there?
It's like,
So my horoscope for today is you will be forced to defend your opinions in the near future. Come the fuck at me.
oh gosh, I don't even know that I
Come
looked.
come the fuck at me. The stars advise you to harness the power of your voice, already done. Remember that your ideas and thoughts are worthy. Do not remain silent or tolerate poor attitudes because you're afraid. Don't tell me what to
Mhm.
do. If it doesn't come naturally, you must learn to stand up for yourself. After
Mm.
all, there won't always be someone around who can defend you. How do you know my life?
So here's the thing.
Yes.
Mine is telling me because it tells you like the focus of the day and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting this a lot. Health. It's been like this is like the third time that it's popped up. And so I'm like, okay, bitch, I'm listening.
Are you though?
Um, yes,
Okay.
because I am. I have been, listen,
Mm-hmm.
I've I've realized that I need to have more fiber in my diet. More vegetables and fruits. And so I've been drinking a lot of smoothies that I
Mm-hmm.
make here at the house, so there's no extra added sugars and things. I'm also trying to cut back on sugar. My face is begging. It's begging for
Mm-hmm.
that. So, I'm also I've been playing Beat Saber every day to get some exercise, and I go outside to get some actual vitamin D so maybe I can stop taking vitamins.
You no longer get caramel macchiato.
It hurts.
That was so perfect. It's like, yep, that's Aisha.
And the thing is like I Googled it. I was like, what does that even look like? And I
You're welcome for the
cackled.
advice.
Yeah, wait, I mean, oh, I guess
Was it good advice?
yeah, did
Did
we
we
finish?
answer? I think we did.
Did
I'm pretty sure we
we
did.
answer that? We were
I think we did.
yeah, I mean,
I
just
hope we did.
everything that Amanda said, I agree with, and that also goes for like if you want
That's
to do
there's the podcast. Everything Amanda said, I agree with. The podcast in a nutshell.
Wait, that could be merch.
It can be. I'm still working on a couple of buttons right now.
Oh gosh. I can't breathe. But that also goes for if you want to be like a content creator or something. Um,
Sorry. Word I hate.
I mean that's fair. That's fair. That's fair, but I don't know what else to call
I
it.
mean, you're not again. Like that's why I was like, you're not wrong, but like,
Well, it's like the word influencer. I don't like when people, and I'm like influencer. On whom do I have influence?
your audience of hundreds of thousands of people.
Hundred, hundreds, hundreds of thousands.
Going to YouTube. I'm going to see how many subscribers you have because I'm a petty asshole. Blinks in Aries, Sun, Cancer, Moon. I'm so sorry.
It's definitely
I'm
okay.
very sorry with a Cancer Moon.
Hmm.
I apologize. Like it's my fucking fault, but like
Hmm.
you have over 4,000 subscribers.
Uh-huh. That's not hundreds of thousands.
Okay. Hundreds and or thousands.
In any case,
There's a kid on YouTube who makes like millions by like reviewing toys, And I've
I
never
want
wanted for a child to fall into a pit more.
listen, here's the thing.
Yes.
I and this is no shade
Yes it is.
to parents who are
If you have
okay
to
with
if you have to preface it,
you know
yes
what?
it is.
Okay, there people are gonna take this. I'm sure somebody's gonna be
That's
whatever.
even worse.
I
If you
eh,
take it as shade, that no. We're backpedaling. You don't get to do that. If you happen to be offended by what I said, no, you said something offensive. You gonna be shady, and that's fine, but you're gonna own it in this house.
okay.
Ma'am.
So here's the thing. As someone who at one point played around with like the whole lifestyle family vlogging thing,
Ew.
um I didn't do it for very long. And then I ended up just completely like taking
Abandoning
like
it.
yeah, I privated all the videos cuz and
Mm-hmm.
I stopped posting my kids like on the internet in general cuz I don't feel comfortable. Now sometimes y'all will get a glimpse of but that's I don't feel as uncomfortable with like just getting glimpses, but like using my kids for content felt weird and like the way that people would like also get close to you. It's just like there's a lot of things that go into that. That being said, I sometimes wish that I weren't so conscientious and like loved my kids because especially the little one, he's so freaking cute. That little mulatto baby, do you know how much money we could make if we made him do unboxing?
We are not exploiting your children.
Do you know
That
how
is not
much?
what that is not what I signed up for.
I'm saying I'm not going
It's
to
not.
ever do
I know
that.
you're not, because that's the
But
end of our friendship.
but just imagine.
That will be when I
So
sign divorce papers, because I can't. uh,
because man, like I see these kids and I'm just like, wow.
I'd be making so much money off of you.
Like look how much money y'all could be making
Well, that's
me.
why you put them like in pageants and in hair shows and shit.
I don't. Well, that's the thing. It's because society. I have boys. Like what?
Boys do
What?
hair shows.
Where? Not here in Oklahoma.
They did in Texas.
Um,
Boys did hair shows. Get that good fade, especially if they got that good hair being mixed.
I don't see. I don't think. I'm not. Their hair is fine, but I don't think they don't have what I consider good hair. I think.
Okay,
When
but
I
also
think
like
of
your standards are probably a little bit higher than most.
no, I when I think of good hair, I honestly think of like hair, like especially for a fade. I think of like kinky hair. You know, like that's what I think
Yeah,
of. And my kids don't have that. They got
that's fine. But yeah, like boys
yeah.
did hair shows in Texas all the time, especially young ones. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, they don't do that here. That's well. Also, y'all have black people. Y'all have black people where
I was about to say I can't imagine an Oklahoma hair show.
in
That
Oklahoma
that
City, probably.
that sounds like
Yeah.
code reference for picking up cocaine. It's like, yeah, I'm going to an Oklahoma hair show. Personally, I think pageants are worse on children. I used to do pageants and hair shows when I was a kid, and I
Hmm.
completely agree with you. I absolutely. It is like child prostitution. I
Mm.
completely agree with you. Do you know what actually got my parents to stop was John Benet Ramsey getting murdered,
Right.
and my dad was like, "Nope,"
Hmm.
like yanked me off the stage.
Listen, I can understand that though, because that
But
was
like,
such a
it
oof.
was horrible. But like, my parents never really like pageant parents. Like,
Hmm.
I think that's why I did like more hair shows than pageants, because they
Hmm.
really weren't like, okay, we're gonna like give you some happy juice, and it's just like a Red Bull. Like, I've watched
Hmm.
Toddlers and Tiaras, which if you want to see the worst of humanity, watch Toddlers and Tiaras. Where it's like, okay, it's time for your go-go juice, and like we're
That
giving
is
like 4-year-olds Red Bull. Yeah,
right.
my parents never did that shit. It was just like,
Yeah.
hey, do you want to wear clothes this weekend and
Mhm.
make some money? Maybe it's like, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Now I'm thinking about my child. I won't say that my mother was to that degree, but
Mm-hmm.
she definitely was one of, like, when I was growing up, like, she's one of those who, mm, if like so I used to be well, I will say that I am relatively musically inclined, and whenever she picked up on that,
She
there
wanted
was
you
a
to
lot
go.
of like, yes, there was a lot of like, okay, we're going to try to exploit this. And then when I like got tall, like, which when I reached the height that I have been now for the past like however many years,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, and I was skinny, and people were like, "Oh, she should be a model." And she was like, "You're gonna go do this."
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was like constantly trying to get me to do, like, she's trying to get, use me to make money,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, in some ways. I have like a weird thing where with my kids, like, I'm just like, you know what? If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, and
Like, I
it's
don't.
usually a bit of like a trauma coping mechanism that like if
Mhm.
anything you're too lax with your kids because you're
Mhm.
afraid
And some,
uh
except for with
cuz
piano, I will say we have stuck with piano,
mhm.
and even though like they have had moments where they're like, I don't know this, you're going.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of them because they are actually very good.
Yeah.
Like, clapping for them. But yeah, I definitely, oof.
Yeah, like I mean I also think that like that's just like a parent thing TBH and it might be generational
Mhm.
cuz like my mom as soon as she realized that I wasn't dumb as a rock, uh she really wanted me on Jeopardy like super badly. Like my mom wanted me on
Oh.
Jeopardy so bad and it was just
Mhm.
like no.
I don't want
And then like
to.
I joined like academic quiz league and academic decathlon. Like, well,
Mhm.
this is like Jeopardy. It's like yeah, but like in a stadium. I'm in a library. This has nothing to
You're
do
like,
with.
I don't want.
I don't want to be on Jeopardy, mom. Like,
But she was like, my genius baby.
yeah, my precious baby. Because like I actually did like a bunch of like trivia stuff when I was younger. Like I did that for Latin.
Mm.
I did because of course I took Latin.
Of course you did.
I
Oh
have
my
my
gosh, you
medal.
remind me. I say this all the time. I have a friend that you
Yes,
remind me of, and she
of course.
teaches Latin.
Of course I took Latin. If you
And she's
guys
also a
needed
writer.
yeah, if you guys
So,
needed to know anything else about me and how I was when I was younger, of course I took Latin as my main foreign language. Um but like I did that for Latin and we beat the Jesuits one year and I did like a bro thing like yeah and like we're in like a church and we just beat Jesuits and I was like full bro moment because that's the kind of person I am. Uh and then I did, like I said, I did academic decathlon. I did
mm,
academic quiz league, which is not academic decathlon. It's academic decathlon light.
mm.
So I did a lot of like trivia things when I was younger. My mom wanted me on Jeopardy so bad.
That,
She
I
wanted me on
mean,
Jeopardy so bad, and it's like
yeah.
no. So I think it's a little bit generational. I think it's also
Mm-hmm.
like, I think it's also just trying to because I know this part is generational. It's trying to make your hobby make sense. Because back in those days, you
Mm-hmm.
really couldn't have a hobby. Like it
Right.
had to be making money. So like
Right.
our ability to just like do shit
Mm-hmm.
and not really have to justify it, like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of boomers just don't
That is
understand.
very, yeah, that is very true.
Because like they I mean they didn't really have the I mean especially black boomers
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have the luxury to just have a fucking hobby.
Yeah,
Like this
everything was
had to be taking
monetized.
you
Yeah.
somewhere. So
Mm-hmm.
like my aunt was a cheerleader. Was a she was captain of the drill team,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll say that all the time. Like that was setting her up. I think be like a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader or something. And then when
Mm-hmm.
she got fat, I guess like then she went on to another career. But
Mm-hmm.
like there was no hobby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my uncle
Right.
played football. That was supposed to be taking him somewhere.
And that is, I want, yes, that is,
Aisha agrees with everything Amanda says.
wow.
As the youngest of five, I'm basically the last cold pancakes, no pushing into anything aside from mass. Did that for the yeah. I am proudly an only child, so I didn't have a lot of those pressures on me as much.
Hmm.
It was never like to make money because you need to feed the family. It was
Right.
just like I can't wrap my head around this dumb thing that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like my okay, so story, my aunt does that now with my paneling, where she
Oh.
very much wants me to like go in and get a master's degree
Mm-hmm.
because she knows that I do this stuff now, and it's like I get where you're coming from, but that's not what I want to do. So for
Mm-hmm.
her, she has a very hard time kind of rationalizing that I expend all of this for free.
Mm.
And it's not that she doesn't love me or support me. She knows that I make
Mm-hmm.
okay money. She knows that my bills are paid. She knows that I'm not
Mm-hmm.
like, eating rats and shit. Like, she knows I'm fine financially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's
Mm-hmm.
not doing it to be shady. She just kind of, for a while at least, like, couldn't really wrap her head around, especially like me with paneling and conventions. I am at a deficit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spending money to be there, to hotel myself, to wear clothes, to make costumes. Emotionally, I'm a wreck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm expending so much to relatively get nothing back. Like, I'm not
Right.
paid. The most I get is a badge, and then badges for my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But my staff,
Right.
my friends. But like, I don't get paid for this shit. I'm at a loss. I'm at a net loss every time I panel. Like
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of dollars net loss.
Right. Right.
So she kind of can't wrap her head
Yeah,
around
she's
that.
just like, why are you doing? I mean, and that makes sense because, like you said,
Yeah.
that's the generation that they they're, they work like
Yeah, they
they're,
worked.
and not
And
that
they
we don't, but it's just it's
it's so
it's
different.
just different.
And also
Yeah.
real talk, us 90s kids, like we will go out
Mm,
of our way to have at least one thing that's sacred.
mm-hmm. We will forego
Yeah.
important, like, like we
Oh,
make
absolutely.
time. We
Yeah.
learned that whole thing, like, it's like I think about it coming up. It was even in like those time management
Yeah.
classes and stuff, they would teach you like
Like
you
have
make
this time.
time for,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Did
make
you
time for
have
what's
oh my
important.
god, did you have that American Girl book about like your changing body?
No, I think I was
You might have been a little okay. So like there was like an infamous book in the 90s that was an American Girl book
a
for like like your teenage years and your changing bodies. It taught you like how to insert tampons and everything. Great guide for growing girls.
uh-huh.
And in it they had like schedule out some you time. Like that was like a big thing in like the 90s and the
Oh,
2000s was that
I
sort
don't
of
remember you know why? Because my mother would not have anyway.
I was gonna sit here. But like that was a big part of like 90s and 2000s culture
Hmm.
was scheduling out time for yourself. So like I think a lot of us 90s kids like we have that thing that's sacred.
Hmm.
And like you will like for me it's my blog. I intentionally don't monetize my blog
Hmm.
because I never want it to be a job. I never want podcasting really to be a job. Even though again like net loss, I put effort into this. I know Aisha puts effort into this. Like if you had to like put a label of money on our time, I think we're both like net loss hundreds a month.
I
At least a few hundred a month. You probably have this book. I think it is generational after see I'll say this. There is a beautiful generation, especially of young black people,
mean,
that saw the mistakes our family made,
mm-hmm.
said fuck it, and are now vilified for it.
Mm,
Because I had that a lot, like after I first moved out,
hmm.
that I learned from the mistakes my family made and
Yeah.
I wouldn't make them again. And I got a
Hmm.
lot of shit for it.
I can see that happening. I mean, yeah, I mean, I say I can, but I've
Like there's
that's a,
there is there
yeah.
is a gorgeous generation of especially black and minority folk
Mm,
that grew up with a lot of bullshit,
mm-hmm.
refused to buy into it,
Mm-hmm.
and then when they refused, had issues with the family.
Yeah. I
because
mean,
they saw it.
yeah. Well, and think about like how like it seems like in the recent, I don't know, maybe in the past like 5 or so years at least, like therapy has become it's becoming more talked about, more
Right.
like, normalized. I feel like our generation really is kind of like we're in this space where we're like shifting things and we're like, yeah, you know
Yeah, I think it was the '90s kids that are very much in that vanguard of like,
what? Mm-hmm.
hey, because I know like, but also like, for some of us that was the norm. Like, I started therapy relatively young because I lost a parent.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I got to start therapy relatively young, and also like my aunt saw therapists. Like in
Mm-hmm.
places that was already normalized for us, and that was radical.
Yeah, that's
That was radical. We had like a family therapist. Her name was Gloria. She's great.
mm-hmm.
She now lives on a ranch with bison in Lampasas.
That's awesome.
We visited her ranch. It's wonderful. She has like emus and ostriches and bison just kicking it. That's the life.
I was just about to
That's the
say.
fucking life. Like she was a successful therapist for like 50 fucking years, and
Mm-hmm.
then she just retired out to live on a ranch
Oh,
in like Central Texas.
beautiful.
Right, perfect. But like I knew Gloria. I talked to Gloria every once in a while. I mean, I was
Mm.
6. Like, what were my problems? Like, I was, I
Yeah,
was
but
6.
yeah.
It's like I'm sad about Mufasa. Like, what were my problems?
I'm still sad about
I mean,
Mufasa.
I just rewatched The Lion King. Hashtag same. I had real trauma back then, but I didn't talk about it.
Wait, which one are you looking at? And
Hi, I
I'll
just
pull
wanted
it
to
up.
say that I
Okay.
noticed that too. I'm 35, and the young kids of color, like 10 years younger than me, are currently opening talk therapy, and it's refreshing. It is,
Mm-hmm.
because it's definitely like, again, like I acknowledge that for my family it was radical. That like
Mm-hmm.
we were kind of open about talking about at least therapy, mental health. We weren't like mental illness. We weren't ready to talk about, but
Mm-hmm.
like going and giving someone a lot of money to talk about stuff, we were fine with that. We
Right.
weren't quite ready to have the mental illness conversation unless we could weaponize it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
unless we could use it to throw at someone. We weren't willing to have that conversation with each other. Like my aunt famously said, I know I have depression, but that's okay. And you just sort of like, all right, what do you. Or famously in Criminal Minds, there's an episode where a black guy is accused of murder. It's one of my favorite episodes of Criminal Minds because it's
Uh,
fucked up and horrible. And they're interviewing him, and he's like, "Have you ever talked to your son about depression?" And it's like, black folk ain't got time for depression. He said the slaves didn't have Prozac, and it's like, you're the problem. You are the problem, Uncle on television. Slaves ain't got no Prozac. You are correct. They did not.
um,
But
did it?
but you are literally the problem. You are the problem.
Oh gosh. Oh, I feel bad for laughing, but
I
it's
mean,
just it's
all you can do is laugh honestly at this stage.
ugh,
That was it's a
cute.
great Criminal Minds episode. It's called Strange Fruit. It's a very very good Criminal Minds episode. I'm pretty sure they didn't actually hire an actor. That's just someone's uncle. That's just someone's porch uncle who just like wandered in and ended up confessing his actual murders. That's all I'm gonna say. Because like the
Oh
portrayals in that episode are so fucking spot on. That's just
my
somebody's uncle. There was no casting call. There were no actors. That's just, that old black guy who just sits
god.
on his porch
Yes.
and he's there all day.
If you walk
And
by
if you walk by,
and
he doesn't say anything, but he stares at you. He doesn't say anything, but his eyes follow you the entire
even
time.
even if you nod, even if you do
Even
the
if you nod, he
nod,
won't acknowledge you. He's like one
just
of those
like
statues where the eyes move. He's just like that. He's in the same place, and then it gets dark. A wild porch uncle. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's a porch uncle.
I'm
Because
screaming.
but we all know them. That's the thing. My great grandparents are from Denison, Texas.
Oh
That is a city
gosh.
of porch uncles. Right next to Oklahoma. I could throw a rock to Oklahoma from there.
Yeah.
Because I've seen your land. I've seen your
Yeah.
land. I've seen your land many a times. Because Lake
You've
Texoma is
seen
right
it.
there. I probably
Hmm.
have thrown a rock to Oklahoma.
You've probably, yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
probably,
definitely
I
have.
was gonna say, you
I
probably
probably
hit it
have.
with, hit my house with the rock.
Just 20 years ago, accidentally hitting your house with a rock. But like,
It's like, where'd that come from?
it's like that is a whole. I can't even call it a city. It only has a Walmart. It has a Walmart and a
Hmm.
Beals.
Right.
It doesn't even have a Ross. There's not a Ross there.
So
But
that's like my town now.
like that was nothing but porch uncles
Hmm.
just sitting out approximately 500 years old.
And
Exactly. They either say nothing or they know your entire family genealogy.
that's so true.
They either say nothing at all or ain't you that one girl's kid? It's
I'm
just
just like,
I don't
you
know
know,
you.
that makes me, actually, that cracks me up. Like, when we first moved down here to Poto, you have to understand that, like, the black community is practically non-existent here. Um, and I didn't think about this until later, but like at first I was really confused as to why so many, like when I would see black people, they would they would be like, "Oh, aren't you related to, so and so blah blah blah." And I
Mm-hmm.
would always be like, "No, I don't." I realized later, I think it was just their way of figuring out like who
What you
I
were doing here?
was. Yeah, you know what I mean? And like to like,
Yeah.
okay, well, so I probably didn't actually look like so and so's
They were just trying to feel
cousin.
you
You're
out.
just like, who is this person? Hmm.
No,
But yeah.
I get that a lot. My dad's side of the family is from Crockett and Palestine,
Mm,
Texas. Which, if you've never heard of these towns, there's a reason because there's nothing there.
yeah.
But like that's where my dad's side of the family, his roots are. So if I get a lot of like, hey, ain't you Troy's baby? It's like yes,
Mm, yeah.
just because like it's not necessarily because like they knew my dad, because I
Right.
think because that was really like it wasn't even like his family directly. It was like great aunts and shit like that.
Hmm.
It was just trying to figure out what I'm doing there because I obviously don't belong. I
Hmm.
have a Game Boy. Like I
Like, who are
like
you?
I obviously don't look like I belong. I'm a city
Hmm.
slicker. I'm fairly, untanned. I do not belong here. I have books, multiple.
My light keeps fluctuate. Like it's
I
like
know.
dragging me. I feel like
I'm a
it's
little
like
washed out today, but I think that's because I haven't exfoliated. Um, but yeah,
I'm
like
no, I just my
yours
lighting
is
is
it's still
extra
wet.
warm right now.
Oh, StreamYard was shady today. It was like decent lighting makes you look amazing. It's like, can I help you?
It said that,
It did. It was like one of the tips. It's like, can I help you? Are you trying to? Can I do something for you,
like,
Streamyard? Right. It's like I did get
let's
a new ring
see.
light. I now own two ring lights, so I can be the most
Ooh,
ooh
see,
girl
this is a cooler light. Which really doesn't help my case at all, does
of
it?
being a caramel macchiato. No, it doesn't. That's okay.
Um,
That's okay.
it didn't, I was, uh, yeah,
It's all
it,
right.
it didn't change.
But yeah, like honestly, and I know like this came up earlier in the chat. Like, I'm kind of glad that we can be that person for y'all that like
Mm-hmm.
are willing to openly talk about like therapy and mental illness because yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not talked about enough. Not just being of color, but also I think like in fandom communities, and I know I mentioned that
Get out of my head. I was just about to say, in this freaking fandom.
like in fandom communities, and this is one of the reasons why I went out of my way to mention it in the episode. being mentally ill and neurodivergent is not an excuse to be a dick.
Yes.
So I think like being able to talk about it and like having like good representation
Mhm.
of what anxiety can look like and
Mhm.
what depression can look like
Mhm.
and what being neurodivergent can look like.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that that's important to me because that's one thing about like the internet nowadays that I'm kind of frustrated with is
Mm.
people having this vocabulary and using it as an excuse to be a bad person and not to grow.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's like, well, I have anxiety, so that's why I'm going to call you a terrorist for not liking my
Right.
OTP. It's like, I have
Right.
anxiety too, but I haven't
And I'm
called
just
anyone
like,
out of their name.
right. And that's the thing is like I had the way my anxiety works is I wouldn't even be able to call somebody outside their name for
Right! The
that.
way
Like
my
I
anxiety
would
works, shit,
like I'm
I wouldn't have the
sweating.
balls.
No, right. I'm just like
I would
so
agree. I would agree
what
with someone who hit me. Shit.
I'm just like,
Like,
oh no.
oh
Like
no, never.
the, and even like with the things that I post when people are like, "Oh, that's kind of hot takey." I'm like, "Listen, I only post if I feel like I can't handle the smoke that's going to come at me, I'm not posting."
Which is
So
why Aisha gets mad at me because I will just fire away.
because I'm like, "Whoa,"
You're
cuz
like, oh,
my like stomach seizes up and I'm like, "I don't know what I'm going to do."
I love that you get like black people spooked. Just like, oh lord, you know, just
Well, you know that sweet brown lady that, "Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire." You know what I'm talking
yes,
about? She's from
yes,
Oklahoma.
amen.
Yeah.
Okay, fun story. I was in conjoining rooms with a friend, and
Mm,
she had bought this like obnoxiously toy like laser gun because we were at the boardwalk, and it was spring break, and I was in a connecting room with her friend. We were talking, and she
mm.
like pushes the door down. She's like, "Stick him up!" And I turned into like the black lady from the Tom and Jerry cartoons, like load it. I like fell over, like fully, fucking fully. I became that old black lady who's like just a torso in the Tom and Jerry cartoons. You know
Yes.
exactly who I'm talking about.
I do.
Just load it, load it. I just like collapsed. And it was vaguely
Wait,
gun shaped, and someone kicked down my door. That means
I'm
I'm gonna die.
screaming
I
because
have to
something
prepare.
similar. Okay, I'm screaming. When I used to live in Oklahoma City, well, in the Oklahoma City area, um, one of my best friends, like we, one of my best friends was supposed to come to my house and we are gonna eat lunch together, and we're talking on the phone, and he's
Mm,
like, "Girl, where are you?" Like, he's like, "I'm on my way." Like he's like, "Where's your house? Like, which street?" Blah 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 blah. And I'm
mm-hmm,
like talking to him, mind you, like I usually I would keep my door locked, but I was at
mm-hmm.
home, and so I just had it unlocked, right?
Did he enter your home?
I did not know that as I was talking to him, he had already pulled up
No.
and he
No.
burst into my
No.
house.
He would be
And when
dead.
I tell
No.
you,
No.
I
Mm-mm.
I couldn't even I screamed.
Oh my god, he'd be
He was
dead.
cackling to this day.
No.
Like he's just like, "Girl, do you remember that one time?"
I would have taken
And
it
he was
back
like,
to him.
yeah, he was like,
No.
"I bet you lock your door now." And I was like, "Wow."
I would have taken a baseball
Like
bat to him.
it was
No. Oh my
so
god, he'd be dead.
like I
Mm-mm.
was I never left that door
No, he'd be
unlocked.
dead.
But
Absolutely no. Absolutely not. There was a friend of mine cuz okay, so you've been to San Antonio at least once, right?
mhm, yeah,
You know our river walk?
yes.
Okay, it's gross by the way. Like it's just
Well, back in the well, okay, it's probably always
okay.
been gross, but like,
It was gross
yeah,
back then, but you were young and it was fine.
yes, right,
Okay, so
yes.
our river is gross. Like certifiably it's gross.
Hmm.
One of my friends, because I and also I had just got my hair done, and that's important to the story,
Mm.
because he's like, what if I pushed you into the water right now? Because like we're on the river walk, he's inside, I'm outside, which is rude. Men keep the women inside.
Okay, I'm so that maybe that's a southern thing,
So
isn't it? Because I feel I get very offended.
if the man doesn't try to
If
protect you, yeah,
I'm just like, you hate me, you want me
yeah,
to die.
yeah,
That's
keep your girls inside. But
mm,
I was outside for whatever reason because I guess he's a rude hoe. Um, and he's like, "What if I pushed you in right now?" And I said, "You better hope I hit my head on the rocks, because if I rise up, what is coming after you is pure vengeance." And that's true. That's what I said to him. It's like, you better hope I die on the way down.
Hmm.
Because whatever comes out of that water, whatever rises out of that water, is just gonna. It's. It's Southern slash a good man thing.
Mm.
So, like, it's one of those etiquette things that probably trickled down from somewhere else, but, like, stayed in the
Hmm.
South.
Because even it's still common here, I think. But, like, yeah, I think it's still like it's still definitely a
Oh, yeah, it's
common
still pretty
thing.
predominant here.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have been physically moved.
I was gonna say my dad has
Yeah.
done because my
I
dad is
have
felt
I have
like
been
a lot
moved.
taller, so he's just been like, "Girl,
Right. Like,
what are you do? What are you doing?"
yeah, like, one of my bosses, he was horrible, but that was the one thing. He's like, and ladies this way. And he
Yeah.
would protect
Which I
us.
know it's so funny because I definitely pick and choose the things that
When,
like
yeah.
hmm I
But that's feminism.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, because that's I just like I like for like I like now here's the thing. I am someone who will absolutely hold doors for people. I
Yeah, same.
don't like I don't care about gender. Like
Hmm.
I can hold a door open, but I really do appreciate it
Hmm.
when um well really anyone, but when men like if if I'm with you and you're just gonna stand there and make me open it like can you
I think it also depends on the relationship with the man. Because,
mm,
like, my best friend is male, and we've been friends for like
hmm
10 years. So if he does some of that stuff to me, it kind of weirds me out now because it's like, we've been dating.
oh so it's like a special it feels like a
With
special kind
some
of
men, it's kind of
yeah
weird. Like, because, like,
hmm
and also, like, for him, I'm very much like a bro. Like, and he's acknowledged that, like, I don't see you as a woman all
hmm
the time. And, like,
interesting
he's like,
interesting
we are on bro level. We are both
yeah
like guys at that point.
interesting
So of course he doesn't hold the door open for me. We're two
right
dudes.
yeah
Of
okay
course he doesn't like pull
yeah
my chair out for me. We're two dudes. That'd be
right.
gay.
I
Like,
guess, yeah. Well, also too, I have to, because you were an only child, and
I
I was
was.
the oldest of three, but I had two. My brothers. I have two younger brothers
Okay, yeah, that's
who
different.
I was very much.
Yeah.
I'm used to, especially you. Okay, we know, like you see how Matt is. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to that kind of. That kind of treatment, I guess. Like my brothers open the doors, so like I just whether we're dating or not, like I just automatically kind of. But I will open doors for people. Like I'm not one of
I
those.
will say this. I think also I kind of had to lose some of that a little bit
hmm
just uh because you can't expect it from everyone.
This is true.
So, like, okay, I'm gonna sound one really bougie and two really sappy. My dad was like the perfect gentleman and set a standard for
hmm
human beings that can never be met.
hmm
Like, open doors, blah blah blah, all that. Like, my father set a standard that cannot be met by other human beings,
hmm
and because of that, I've had to like lower my expectations a lot.
hmm
So
hmm
it's one of those things of, it's nice if it happens, and I know how to fall in line and respond, but I no
hmm
longer expect anything from anyone
Yeah, that's
just
fair.
because.
That's definitely fair. Well, and also too, because like I think about I can't expect I can't expect mat level treatment
Right.
from like anyone. Like
Right.
this man, he just I don't know if I told you, but he had to get surgery on his knee.
You did tell me.
Yeah, and this man uh doesn't even like for me to go and freaking get him stuff
Right.
because he's like, "Well, but I want to." And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Thank you for doing this." And I'm like, of course I'm doing it. Like, what's the point of having a partner if you're not gonna help each other? It's like, well,
Right.
I like doing stuff for you,
Right.
and so I don't know. It's
Yeah, like, it's, I'm loving all of the, like, being spoiled by dad stuff, cuz, like, that's
yes,
something that is beautiful to
yes,
me.
yes, and I mean,
Honestly,
yeah,
I just like black people having dads cuz
say,
the
listen,
prisons take so many of them.
same. I mean, like I will say, like, oh, I cherish my dad. He's not perfect. But as far as dad stuff goes,
Mm-hmm.
he's excellent. I appreciate him.
Mm-hmm.
We talk every Monday, and um he spoils me. So we were like, Matt and I were laughing because there's one Christmas where everything that I mentioned what that was cool. Like if they had a new
He got.
gadget, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I like this." And then come Christmas, I had all these gifts, and I was like, "Dad, like you don't have to buy me everything that I say that is interesting." But it was
Mm-hmm.
sweet. So I'm just like, yes, we. Oh, and yeah, you have
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Also, I will say this. I think it's all about intentionality
Mm,
because, yeah, like sometimes the protective male thing goes too far. So, like, I mentioned my boss who kind of like boxes us in, or like he's an old boss
hmm
now, but like he would say and do little things that, like, so I'm genderqueer for those of you who are new to the
hmm
show. I use
Oh
equally,
yeah, I guess.
it's fine. I
Yeah.
use she and he pronouns. I mean, I'm not just like equally, but like I do. But
hmm
he would refer to us workers in the back as ladies because at the time the way the office was set up, it was his office and then a
hmm
big open area and there was three girls in there,
Okay.
and he would refer, he would like just call us ladies, like it was like a Charlie's Angels kind of thing. Like
hmm
it shouldn't have been anything more than it was, but like
hmm
I felt genuine gender dysphoria for like the first time.
hmm
I've almost never felt gender dysphoria because I'm queer about it. I'm not
hmm
trans.
hmm
I have no issue female presenting and being called by female nouns and pronouns.
hmm
But for some reason, him calling us ladies really bothered me.
hmm
And I realized it's because I knew who he was. And I knew that there was always a hint of condescension. It was because inherently
Oh.
he thought that we were lesser. So when he called
Mm,
us ladies, it wasn't out of true respect.
mhm.
So for me, it's a
Right.
lot of context. So, like, if there's
Mhm.
a guy who's opening a door for me because, like, we're on a date or we've known each other for a long time,
Mhm.
that's fine. If it's like some random old white dude, I am going to be concerned about his motives. I will
Mhm.
accept, but I am concerned about his motives.
Yeah, that's fair. I think about that a lot because of where I live.
Of course.
Um, and I hope people understand, like, I am absolutely not exaggerating. Like, I'll never tell y'all the city because it's too easy to find me because I'd stick out like a sore thumb. But it's very, very white. So the majority, like when I am out and about, it's usually older white men that are the ones doing the door opening and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
or like going out of their way to. And the thing is like I also am just like I never know. I don't know what's gonna come out of their mouth. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
like I've had random white people come up to me and want to tell me about some black friend that they had back in
Right.
1925, and I'm just like,
So like for me, I live in San Antonio now. Mija, which is like a diminutive
mm-hmm,
of being called like little lady or something like that.
mm-hmm.
That from an old guy, an older Hispanic man on his porch, is very different from
Yeah,
coming from a dude with no shirt on or a tank top on at the bus stop. Those are not the
yeah,
same. Those
yeah.
mijas are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Those are, and I learned that very quickly. Cause yeah, those two mijas, not the same mija.
Right.
One of them is just worried about me. The other one has some ulterior motives. So
Whew.
I do think it's important to have that context behind it. But again,
Mhm.
like I mentioned feminism earlier, my banner of feminism has always been feminism is the radical notion that women are people.
Mm.
So like yeah, if you're one of those girls who like demands that men pay on the first date, blah blah blah, that's your choice.
Right.
Be free.
Mhm.
You're never gonna date anyone, but
Right?
like
I'm like, who are you? Not in this day and
not in
age.
this economy. Shit. There was one I was having a conversation. It's like, oh well, I'm the bottom, so I don't pay, and it's like, enjoy being single for the rest of your life.
Wait. So are they basically saying that they pay in
Yeah,
bussy or
yeah,
pussy, either one?
yeah,
But
yeah. I mean,
I
I'm
mm,
again like live your truth, but I mean, I hope you weren't expecting to get laid anytime soon, because no one's doing that.
yeah, I mean, you and I'm demisexual, so like no, but I'm just sitting here thinking, does not that's not payment, sweetie, for me.
TBH, I completely respect the going on dates for food because I've absolutely gone on dates just because I want to go
Oh, I
somewhere nice.
support it.
Zero judgment.
I am,
Yeah,
but I'm
there's.
also like, especially for women presenting people,
Mm,
like, get your sis,
yeah,
get your food.
yeah, zero judgment. Nothing has offended me more than at work than some dude helping a black, than me helping a black dude choosing to go on a rant. A hound's a different. Oh yeah, I've gotten that.
Oh,
I've gotten that, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
W- w- okay. He's wow,
Some folks out there just doing the most, and it's.
wow. Uh,
I think the worst that I got is I was reading at the bus stop because of course I was. Um, because of course I was. And this guy of the African American persuasion comes up to me and he's like, "Why don't you have my name in your book?" It's like this isn't a death note. That's not. And I looked at him and was like, "Because that's not how books work." Like, first of all, a statement that would usually get a woman murdered. First of all,
yeah.
first of all, a statement that would usually get a woman murdered. It's like that's not how books work.
And I don't know you.
And
Who,
I don't.
like,
Yeah, and I don't know you.
who are you?
Why you ain't got my name in your book? It's like, is this a death note? What are you talking?
Like,
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I also had a guy offer me his Seagram's gin, and then called me stuck up when I didn't accept it.
you know what? Like,
Which real talk, he's not wrong. That's not the reason I'm stuck up.
right, right.
Like, because that was one that was weird. Because so, fun fact, I'm a gin drinker.
Oh,
I
okay,
have a
okay.
lot of very expensive gin in
Mhm,
my
mhm,
apartment.
mhm.
So, if anything, he wasn't wrong. That's not the reason I'm stuck up, though.
Right.
Not because I won't drink your pants gin. That's not why I'm stuck up.
I just now I will say that it has been a long time since I have been like hit on or like in the way that like when you live in a city area and you're young, you get it's just different. Like living where I'm living here, it doesn't happen
Yeah,
because
because
like you're like
everyone's old and married.
yeah, like nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
But like but when I was in in my early 20s and like in college
Mm-hmm.
and but married, but they didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Um but like it was always interesting how they'd be like, hey, you're cute, whatever, whatever. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
talk to me. And then when I would say politely, I'm sorry, I'm married or whatever,
How they turn.
well, he was ugly anyway.
Oh my God, the turn. The
It's like, but
turn. The, the turn.
you just, and back then I was definitely more like stereotypically, I guess, conventionally attractive for like I had
Mm-hmm.
like long straight hair, like
You cute back then. I'm sure you were.
I I mean, I was very girly, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I like that me too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just interesting how it was like I went from being fine to, oh, well, you ugly anyway. You think you all that. And it's like, okay.
No, I get that all the time on dating apps because, like, okay, this is probably just bordering on TMI. I am not a prude when it comes to sex,
Mhm, mhm.
obviously.
Mhm.
But like if
I mean,
you but if you lead with that, I don't like it. It's very much
oh,
a turn off for me. Like I would completely have sex with someone on a first date if we like had drinks and connected and we talked, blah blah blah. Like
fair.
I'm not prudish like that. I don't like to
Mm-mm.
put limits on anything. But if you lead with wanna fuck, no. The answer is no. If like that's the message you send me on like Bumble or Hinge or Tinder, the answer is no. Want some fuck? No, I don't.
That sounds.
And I've gotten messages like that. Or like do you give head? Like first message. It's like, "Hello, sir."
Oh my gosh.
Like that's such a turn off to me. But like I'll get that and I'll say like, "Hi, I usually like at least being taken out to dinner first." Like I'm very honest with that. Again, it's like
Hmm.
I'm not a prude, but like don't just message me anal question mark. Don't do that. And then just like the turn like, "Well, you a stuck up hoe anyways." It's like because like okay, bye. Like
That's exhausting. It's
it is
upsetting that this
exhausting.
still happens.
What dating
It's
apps am I on? I'm on Bumble and I'm on Hinge.
hmm.
I'm only on Tinder if I'm feeling thoughty and I need male attention.
Ah,
Cause every once in a while I do need male attention. Like
that's
the tank lowers and it's like, God, I need
yeah.
someone to say my tits look nice.
I mean, I feel that. I understand.
It's like,
I,
damn.
that's how I ended up married to a man.
It's like, damn, I need someone to say that my tits look good. And I'll like hop on Tinder for a little bit and then, I'll get like the one guy who's like, want fuck? It's like, okay, we're done. It's
Oh god.
like, and we're going back.
Oh,
I take poly out of my bio because, yes. Oh my god. Like the amount of people looking for unicorns and stuff are just, though I will say
mm.
I did have a poly couple reach out to me on Facebook and they said you're the most beautiful girl we've ever seen. It's like by San Antonio standards, you are correct. I am.
Don't play yourself.
Shut up. It's like by San Antonio standards, yes I am.
That is just you know better.
Do. I did not follow them. I did not go with them. They seemed like a very nice couple though, but it was like it's like I was so and I've been polyamorous,
Mm.
but there was something that was so like upsetting but flattering about that. There was something that was like so equal parts kind of concerning
Hmm.
because like they just I guess like found me on Facebook and were like that one. It felt like Get Out a little bit when they have like the black people auction. It did feel a little bit like
Oh, they
that.
were white.
I think they were Hispanic, but like I didn't have any mutuals with them, so like
Oh, these were random people.
yeah. So like that was kind of upsetting that it's like how did you find me?
Yeah, you in danger.
But also like it was nice that they said that it was beautiful and like
Yeah, I mean that always feels that
that always feels good even
always
if you're in
feels
like
good.
immediate danger.
Right. I mean, especially because then I'm like, oh,
Like even though like all the every red flag is up, just all of them, just all the red flags are lined up. Yes,
as
just
they
like
like
Get Out.
as they like they're like they stab me and I'm like, you said I'm pretty.
Yeah, you said I'm beautiful. Thank you. Also, my injection site's still swollen. I don't like
I
that.
was just gonna ask you, like,
My injection site is
still,
still swollen.
mm,
I mean, it was 4% something I'm allergic to, so.
yeah. Did you get the like? Is it knotted up? Did you get like a bump?
Yeah, I have a bump.
Here? Okay, because that's yeah, the same thing happened to me, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, it turns out that it has 4% of an ingredient that I'm allergic to.
maybe I'm also.
No, I don't think we have the same allergy.
I what is it?
Latex.
I don't. think so.
You would know if you did.
I mean, you say that, but
You would know.
I don't use
But you have.
that's
True.
yeah, true. Okay, yeah.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I said it.
Okay, yeah.
I know. I'm aware. That's why I said it. I don't know what's worse, that I'm shady or that I'm smug.
Uh,
I
they're
don't.
equal.
Or that they combine with each other, and I feel quite proud of myself when I'm shady. I don't know which one's worse. Both are
you
pretty insufferable.
you look like that meme of that white kid that with the tea. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And everyone's like, your mama on Christmas after she told you you weren't gonna get nothing or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It's, that's what you look.
I feel like Garfield sometimes, where I'm just like smug and all knowing. But yeah, so I found
Like.
out that I had a latex allergy because my orthodontist used to use latex gloves, and I would go back to school looking like I had like full on herpes, just
Oh
all
my
the time. Because it was
gosh.
just a rash.
Yeah.
Like it was just a rash. Like I always looked so jacked up after seeing my orthodontist because he used latex gloves.
Hmm.
My ortho, calling him out. So he had like an adult room and like a kid room, and the kid room was like colorful and bright and stuff like that. And then the adult room was like
Why did
gray. Hmm?
why did my brain when you said adult room, I was like,
No, it's an orthodontist office.
yeah.
Not like that. And he was a nice guy, married, kid, like 1,000 children, because it's North Texas. So,
Hmm.
and he was a great ortho. But like I was in high school when I got my braces. So like I was right on that cusp of like the kid room was a little much for me, but like the adult room was weird too.
Hmm.
So I stayed in the kid room whenever I got procedures done. And my ortho for all the children, he would use bubblegum flavored gloves. And it's like that is the creepiest thing that I've ever like experienced. Cause then you get like a flavored finger in your mouth.
Uh, oh, I just kind of pictured the texture because
Yeah, it's a latex glove that tastes like
oh,
bubble gum. So he's like prodding in my mouth with bubblegum phalanges.
ew.
Like it feels like a sex crime now. But like that's something that I feel like only gross people would own. Like outside of the context, like I feel like whatever distributor exists for these bubblegum gloves, unless like you can prove that you're a doctor,
You shouldn't be.
you like they should be like a tracking number on that purchase that like flags you immediately as a gross human being because there is no reason why any normal person should own those. None. You need to be able to certify like 3 different ways that you own like a pediatric dentist office or something. And like any other person, if you like try to go on this website and order just like one box, they should immediately send you to like the FBI.
I mean,
Because
that's fair because
there is no
there's no
fucking
need.
reason
There's
that
really
like
not.
you or I would ever need these unless we're gonna do some gross
No,
shit.
like I'm sure even like my brain has been thinking like, okay, what are some things that nothing, like
Nothing.
nothing. Because if I
Nothing.
wanted to have something, if I wanted bubble gum, I could just buy bubble gum.
But like latex
If
gloves
right, and
that
so
taste like
like
bubble gum.
it is just like because I was thinking, well, maybe somebody likes they like the flavor of bubble gum, but it's like to just get bubble gum.
Right.
Why do
And
you
you
need glove? Like, why do you need
why
this?
would you need latex gloves of that?
Right.
Because there's bubblegum throat spray that numbs you. I've seen that
Yeah.
in shops. Like, I've seen bubblegum condoms. I've seen
But those that
bubblegum.
makes sense
Yeah,
because
like that makes.
safety.
Yeah. I've seen bubblegum, like, enhancement gel. That's fine.
Also makes sense.
Right, but, like, latex gloves.
Because what are you doing with that?
What, yeah, what are two consenting.
Oh, maybe they're experimenting with. Wasn't there a thing? Were there people on TikTok doing a thing where you could, like, what was it? Am I making this up?
What are the children doing on TikTok?
I swear I heard. I don't have TikTok, but I
I
heard that
do.
people were like saying that if you, oh, maybe it was if you stuck your balls in like pickle juice or something that you could, and it's not true, but like like, were people anyway? I was gonna say maybe people were doing kinky stuff with the gloves and buttholes or something, but I don't. I'm gonna stop
Then why would it need to be bubble?
because because maybe they're experimenting to see if you could. If you could.
Aisha has to go to the UK corner now.
Wait, wait. I have
Yeah,
I
yeah. Aisha has to go to the UK corner now for being bad. Um, because you're not allowed to be horny on me. And I'm gonna text Mr. Manga and tell him. I'm gonna shame you. The only thing I can think of is someone with an oral fixation. Okay, I'm orally fixated. Fun fact.
mm.
If you'd like to add to all of the reasons why I'm still single, I'm orally fixated. I would not do that with a glove. That feels weird to me.
Yeah, but maybe someone else likes
Like a
the
lunar?
feeling of latex.
I guess like a lunar.
A lunar from like the books?
No, a balloon fetishist. They're called lunars.
Oh, interesting.
Why do I know
So then sure,
this?
yeah, it doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, it's like it's also not shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like there are
Interesting.
latex people out there, but like again, I just feel like
To need a whole box of,
yeah,
yeah, that's
like a werewolf. No, not like a werewolf. We're not talking about Lugosi. Not like a werewolf.
right. Speaking of,
What?
so Matt and I also started watching Beastars. He didn't really enjoy it, but I'm gonna keep watching it.
I'm not shocked.
Oh
That's
no, he
not
was like,
really
"What is this?"
because he's kind of a normie when it comes to anime, isn't he?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no, I'm not shocked at all.
He really enjoyed the animation itself. And
The
and
animation gets weird for me in places.
I I like weird. I like
I
weird.
don't hate it, but
Hmm.
you can definitely tell when they like. Did you guys not have budget for a background? It's like what is background? Like that's
Yeah, I
that's the thing with a lot of the CGI series is that like they spend
hmm.
so much money on these character models and the characters look great.
Yeah.
Everything else looks like shit.
Yeah, I guess it's hard. Okay, while I hear that and I can understand where that
Mm-hmm.
comes from. I think I don't watch enough anime to
That's
like
fair.
really be able to
That's
so like
fair.
it's just like I'm listening to you and I'm like, okay, yeah, actually, if I went back and watched it, I would notice it. But like on first watch, like, yeah,
No, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like
yeah,
you always
mm,
led with you being a manga person, and I'm
mm-hmm,
definitely more of an anime person. I mean, not that
mm-hmm,
I don't read manga, obviously, but like
mm-hmm.
I have an eye for that kind of stuff
Yeah,
because
it
I've
just
been
makes
doing
it
this for so long.
right. It makes it interesting to me to hear
Mm-hmm.
from that perspective because I just well, and also I haven't watched that much of it yet, but it's like it's interesting to see it from that point of view where you're actually looking at, the animation part. Because for me, I'm like, how did I don't know, it just looks pretty.
Well, because also like my co-panelist, like he went to school for art and for animation.
Oh,
So like I'm
okay.
kind of and I know a lot of art friends. Like that's
Hmm.
there's something about being a writer that attracts artists, which is great because
Hmm.
it usually means we can like collab and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And we also have like strong. So the cool thing about being a writer, and this isn't meant to sound like too braggadocious or anything,
Hmm.
we usually have an aesthetic. Like we have
Hmm.
an eye because as a writer, you've probably read a lot and stuff like that too. So we
Mhm.
do have an aesthetic. We do have a very, very clear point of view. We
Mhm.
don't always have like words for it.
Right.
A bit of a random, but are you caught up on Coyote? Are you caught up on Coyote, Aisha?
Okay. So I read volumes 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I recently grabbed volume 3. I have not
Mm-hmm.
opened it yet. Because I think at the time I was in the middle of reading um a longer, well, a longer, like 6 volumes of a Yuri series. So I was like, I gotta get this done. Um, but I'm going to get back on to that because I freaking,
Coyote is very good. We are talking about BL. It's been 2.5 hours, but we are talking about BL.
oh yeah, I also wanted to mention that I finished volume 1 of this.
Mm-hmm.
I we're reading it. We're talking about this for the Thirsty Thursday that's coming up, the
Mm-hmm.
live stream. And Dylan picked it. It was his pick this time.
Mm-hmm.
And the first volume almost lost me
Mm-hmm.
because of something that happens like out of the blue. But
Mm-hmm.
once I get past that, like I loved the first volume and I will continue on. Honestly, have you read this
No,
yet?
but I saw
Because
your tweet
I
about it. That I love that you will like randomly tweet things that you're reading, and it's like because I'll check notifications and
oh
it's like
on
what the
yeah.
fuck. Like I'll check notifications and it'll be like relatively early. And it's like what the fuck? And it's like oh, Aisha decided she wanted to get on Twitter today.
And it's always something random
It's
too.
always so fucking random, and I never know about it. She never like heads up I'm doing this. And I'll wake up, I have my little semi cup of coffee. I'm making breakfast, and I'm on my phone checking Twitter. It's like, why do we have all these fucking notifications? Because it's like relatively early, like on a Sunday or a Saturday, and it's like, what the shit? It's like, oh, Aisha opened up Twitter today. How nice. And I just go on making breakfast.
And the thing is it really that's so odd. Like that's exactly what happens. I'm just like I'm up on a weekend. I ain't got nothing to do.
And I love it because like it's bringing in some like original content. Like I'm not mad at it at all. It's just so I'll get up
But
and be
it's
like
like random.
what like why the fuck do we have all these notifications?
I at least
It
try
is
to make sure it's. Did you see something walk behind me?
no. Do you need a candle? I
I
haven't.
might, because I swear.
Aisha,
Matt,
Aisha got a Wendigo.
did you just walk past? Did someone just walk past? Did a cat just run by? Huh? What the?
Aisha got a Wendigo. Just saying.
I am kind of freaking out. I'm scared. Um,
I saw that on TikTok. There was a lady who was like doing her nails and like the camera pans. There's like an obvious like full figure shadow behind her, and there's like a
I
stitch
just
of it.
got
There's a
goosebumps.
stitch and it's like a black lady like who dat behind you? Who dat over there? It's mood.
Like
I'm working on the
that's
cats. I'm working on getting her to show the cats.
well, okay. The thing is that they are not supposed to be in my room. But oh my gosh, okay, y'all. I can't. I'm not gonna move my camera. But like, so we have a pretty decent sized window in our bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
and I use the windowsill area as kind of like my little witchy altar place, sort
Mm-hmm.
of. And one morning I woke up and I looked over there, and Luna's ass was sitting up there on my altar, but she's black, and she actually looked really cute. A black cat. Like I tried to get my camera out because I was like, you know what?
Aesthetic.
Right, but she was looking at me, and she knew because she knows she's not supposed to be in here, so
Mm-hmm.
she's watching me to see what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I grabbed my camera or my phone, she took off running because I couldn't
Of
get the
course.
picture. But she looked so cute up there. Maybe one day I will. show her.
Just post them randomly on Twitter like everything else.
Oh yeah, I can do that. That's a great idea.
I Do y'all listen to BLCD? I have in the past. I quite like
I have one, the one from
the one that we got in the box.
yeah. I haven't listened to it yet though because I don't have. Oh, well, actually, there's an odd. Isn't there a digital version? There is a
There is a
digital
digital
version.
version.
I need to remind myself.
Hmm.
Um, and this is true. They do go wherever they want. They know that they're not supposed to be in here. And they perform. You know,
Hmm.
they perform obedience.
Hmm.
They perform it well. But then,
Though going back to BLCDs, I do want
mm,
to say this.
mm,
So I think I've said this before on the show. So I very, very rarely see yaoi as pornography, just because of like how I came into it. And I mean,
hmm,
I know I'm wrong with that. Like I know it is, but it's never really like felt like porn for me.
yeah,
But it took watching the OVA of Maiden Rose to make me realize that it is, because there's something different from reading like sex to hearing sex,
hmm,
and it almost like made me uncomfortable. And like it was, the OVA is like volume, it's like most of volume 1 and like getting into volume 2,
hmm,
and I've read that a million times. I could recite that dialogue. I know what's coming.
hmm,
But like there's something about it that there's a dissonance between hearing it and reading it that was like,
hmm,
oh, and it honestly kind of makes you uncomfortable sometimes,
hmm,
just because it's almost like reinforcing like this is porn, and it's
hmm,
like, okay, but I do like it. Like I, as again, like as a technical person, like the foley to making these sounds and like what voice actors do and shit like that,
hmm,
love that. Love voice actors who are willing to do this shit. I
hmm,
love like the sound editing that goes into it to making each one of those like weird squishing noises and stuff like that.
hmm.
I love all that shit. Like on a
I mean,
technical level,
and I listen to ASMR people who basically do that. So,
like I on a technical level,
mm,
love all that shit. The Maiden Rose OVA has one of my favorite voice actors of all time in it, Kazuhiko Inoue. So of course I stan. But like
hmm,
on a personal level, sometimes it kind of squirks me out a little bit, because yeah,
yeah,
like it's reminding me that this is pornography, and because of
hmm,
how I came into yaoi and boys love, it never felt like that to me.
hmm,
But I mean, like I can't say I don't like it, because if I find a good one, it's like yes,
hmm,
and it's cool. And again, like from a technical level, I think it's very interesting. I love
hmm,
voice actors who are willing to do shit like this, because a lot of them aren't.
hmm,
A lot of them aren't willing to do stuff like this. But I also like come from a background of like loving drama CDs and shit like that.
hmm.
I remember translating the Hitalia drama CDs with a bunch of other people, and because I love Hitalia. But yeah, I do listen to them occasionally. I do.
Excuse me. What
Alrighty,
was
y'all. I hear a
this?
sunspot. That's a good one. Go for it. Pick it up when it's on sale.
I may be talking about this soon. Maybe.
Yes. Oh yeah, like character interviews for that stuff are
Mm,
great. Cute High Earth Defense Club Love has some of that, where like listening to the voice actors talk about their roles are great,
mm.
because I think like one of the main guys for Cute High Earth Defense Club Love, I think he also voices Levi in Attack on Titan, and like it's not the same
Oh.
character at all. So like listening to, and like I think he sings for that show. So
Mhm,
like just listening to him talk about it is like, I know Daisuke Namikawa has that a lot. Where like
mm,
Daisuke Namikawa has been in a bunch of series and done a bunch of things, and
mhm,
like it's almost impossible to link roles to him sometimes,
mhm,
because he has so much range. Like
mhm.
the two Daisuke Namikawa roles that come to mind are, he was Uli Kyoto in Bleach, and then he was Northern Italy in Hitalia. And again, not same character,
Right. No.
but those are both Daisuke Namikawa.
Also, can we talk about the fact that that particular Bleach character was my favorite?
Your favorite of the Espada? Do you? Okay, so I feel like my favorite gives me away. I feel like it's super obvious who my favorite would be. We do love range. We do stand range.
Wait, I don't. I mean,
When I tell you, it's going to be very obvious.
I feel like you probably like Rukia's brother.
No,
Oh,
no.
what's his name? Aizen?
Oh, I do love Aizen, but he's not in the spot. Do love me some Aizen though.
Oh, that is her brother, right?
No, you're thinking of Cayenne Shiba. Oh, Espada. Her brother is Byakuya. The Espada she fights is Cayenne Shiba. I do love Byakuya, but I'm thinking
Okay.
like
Yes,
just
yes,
the.
yes.
I'm
Okay.
thinking just Espada. Xyle Apodogrons. Happy Passover. Thank you for spending some
Oh,
time with us.
yeah, thank you for being here. Oh, bye.
Bye. Yeah.
See, okay, I thought I was gonna say Grimjaw.
No, I don't like him because he's feral.
Okay,
Harisa
okay.
gets it. Xyle is my favorite.
Huh.
Xyle Apodogrons. I love him. I think he's perfect. He's great. I don't know if I really have like a favorite character in Bleach. I definitely have
Yeah.
like. See, it's obvious when I say it. Fucking love Xyle. Fucking love Xyle. He's great. Um, I don't know if I have like one favorite. Like I definitely
Mm,
have like a favorite per like faction.
that's
Like
fair.
I have a favorite Espada. I have a favorite Visored. I have
Mm-hmm.
a favorite Soul Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
Like I definitely, but like overall, one character that I love in the series, I don't think I have that.
That's fair. This why is this making me want to No, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Rewatch Bleach?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself.
No.
The only reason I was is because I was gonna cosplay one of the characters last year,
Mm-hmm.
so I was on a rewatch for cosplay.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
not gonna do it.
yeah, don't do it casually. Don't. Yeah, if you like, I was doing it for homework. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it casually. You have. Don't know.
Whew.
Yeah, I was doing it for homework because I was gonna. I was. There was a character that was on the 2020 cosplay on,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed notes for him.
That's fair. Oh, but I'm so nope, not gonna do it.
But
Mm.
we ended up talking about boys love a little bit. I'm glad. Uh,
Yes, look at us.
I guess like as we start wrapping up a little bit
Mm,
with the last episode, and as we kind of tackle some of these more, I guess like heavy topics,
mm.
what do you guys think about it? Like, do you don't no don't feel judged. I just think that like
Oh, I didn't even
I just think that
no.
like casually, if you're not ready for it, like if you're ready and you know what you're signing up for and
Just
you're
sit and
committed,
yeah.
then do it. Like I actually I don't know why I said actually, like it shouldn't be a shock. I like Bleach a lot, like up until a certain point, and I know a lot about the show. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely one of those things that I can talk about too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know a lot of the Zanpakuto. I know their commands. I know the symbolism behind all the flowers. Like
Mm-hmm.
I because that's one of those things I love. I don't know if you guys have noticed a thread here with series that I like. I like lore.
Mm-hmm.
I like deep lore. And I like writers and artists that think. So like one of the reasons I love the Espada arc so much is that you can tell Kubo spent a lot of time in this because each one of the Espada represents a certain aspect of death.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of symbolism and shit, sign me the fuck up. Give me something that I can learn. Give me something that I can memorize. Give me something that I can study in an anime.
Mm-hmm.
I love that shit. I think that's probably one of the reasons why I don't like a lot of newer anime, is that there is nothing that I can like sink my claws into.
Mm-hmm.
It's just accepted at face value. Because isekais usually have to be shallow because it's just an insert power fantasy.
That's not even a hot take.
It's not, it just feels mean.
Eh.
It feels mean because I know so many people like isekai, but like it's just a power fantasy. So like there's really
Yeah.
nothing to sink your claws into because it's supposed to be about you feeling strong and fucking the 2D girl.
Mm. Now, well, you know what? That actually makes me think about the fact that you know, I wish we could go or we could have more series like the amazing isekai, like 90s shoujo,
Mm-hmm.
where they actually like had an interesting story. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking like Fushigi Yugi because we love it. But anyways, it's
Or
out there.
even like a better Inuyasha that isn't Yashahime because it's not that good.
I have no dog in that fight because I haven't watched it and I'm not going to.
But so the point that I was getting at asking audience is
Mm,
if there are any notes or anything that you have on us approaching these topics, let us know. If you
mm,
like us approaching these topics, let us know because like it's one of those things that, and I know like we've talked about this in episode. I
mm-hmm,
think we're always a little worried about sounding too flippant.
mm-hmm.
Like we're both old and bitter, so I only finished Fushigi yesterday.
What?
Can I tell you a secret?
It's
I've
so
never read it.
I haven't read it. I watched the
I've
anime and then I started reading what was supposed to be this more recent arc
mm-hmm.
that I think is already on hiatus. I don't know. There's like a
Not
this
already.
like yeah.
Not already on hiatus.
I'm pretty sure. I have to go and look that up. Um,
But but yeah, like if there's ever a time that you think that we're being too flippant
mhm,
or that we're not approaching something with enough respect or just if you have any like comments about that kind of stuff, don't be afraid to let us know
mhm,
because that's one thing that again, I think I said this at the top of the show. I'm so thankful for the audience that we have
mhm, mhm,
because yeah, like I couldn't imagine posting an episode like this and like leaving it out to like the world in that way
mhm.
because yeah, like, I can definitely see how from outside looking in, it's probably a long trip to Hot Take Mountain with
I
two angry
mean,
black women.
maybe I will like and per my horoscope, I am working on my um weirdness with criticism, but
Mm-hmm.
like I don't really think that anything we said was really like hot takey because there just wasn't like that's not the intent
True.
behind it and I feel like we also did a good job of like clarifying
I think we did. I
um
just want to, like I said, like I just want to
yeah
give our audience the openness to if they
hmm
have that feeling
right
that they can express it.
yes
That's all. Like I definitely am not going to put any words in anyone's mouth. If you were fine with it, be free, and like it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter what
right
topic. I'm going to write along. I love your long ass comments,
oh,
tbh.
yes they're fun to read.
I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you see
I just I'm the optics person. That's my
hmm
job. Is I'm
yeah
the optics person. I'm the PR person. Usually in
right
hindsight, because I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but Aisha and I usually our recordings are at least like 2 hours long. At least. I think our average is more like 3 or 4.
yeah
So by the time we're done, I have no idea what I just said. I don't know who I am. I probably need to go pee. I'm
oh
definitely
definitely
thirsty.
hunk
I'm definitely thirsty and hungry. So probably a little bit dehydrated.
hmm
So like I don't know who I was before I took the headphones off.
right
So like when Aisha sends me the audio back to review, sometimes I can tell when things are missing, but for
right
the most part, it's me having to like relive this conversation that I had.
yeah
And at that point, like weeks later.
right
So it's like, oh fuck, I said that.
I try to and it's not that we I it is it's such a it's a hard like it's a line that you kind of have to toe because it's like it's not that we are hiding things, but there are just some we're talking at the top of this live that like there are just some things that you might say that don't really need to be said like
Mm-hmm.
out in public, and not that we're sitting over here saying like, super problematic things,
Hold
but
the
just,
fuck on. Every podcast is a series of hot takes. That's not false. That's not false. Uh, Gotta say, I saw the last one was less than an hour, and I wondered about your health. So that was okay. Peek behind the curtain. That original recording was about 2 hours.
yeah, it was,
We
yeah,
usually
which,
cut them down to like an hour, hour and a half. I think
hmm
that's like our sweet spot. It's
yeah,
usually about an hour, hour and a half after like a recording that may be between 2 and 3 hours, depending on when
hmm
we both hit record on Audacity, basically.
right,
Because we'll usually like hit record while we're still talking shit about like our day and stuff like that, just
hmm
so it's on and running, and like we have some B roll just in case we need to like cut and space stuff like that.
hmm
So Aisha sends me the audio for this episode, and it's like 45 minutes.
which was,
And I'm like, okay. I was like, okay. And I think like this was one of the first times that I was like aware of her cutting, because I know she cuts. I know she does,
hmm
because like obviously you don't go from 3 hours to an hour and a half and there not be cutting.
right,
But like I think this was one of the first times that I was like super aware of her cutting, because
right,
I'd actually remembered part of the recording, and it's like that wasn't
hmm
there. That wasn't there either. Oh, that's not
right.
there. And I don't know how I worded it. It was probably passive aggressive and
I
shady, but
don't
it's like
think so.
I feel like this episode's a little short. And
hmm
Aisha, and you come to find out, this was the episode that Aisha went ham on, of just like snip, 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 to the extent that there was actually a part she wanted to leave in that she didn't.
And the thing, because like she's like, yeah, the part, and I was like, what?
It's like, wasn't that in there? It's like, no.
And I remember like as I was like doing, I was like, I want to make sure that I put this in, and
Yeah,
I'm just like, well, so then it bothered me so much that I went and put it back.
she did, and
I like went through
and
it
it
because I was
still
like,
ended up
where
being
is
under an
it?
hour.
And it was
But
still under an hour. And I think that honestly, like a lot of the stuff that we went on a lot of tangents.
yeah, and while they were tangents related to topic, I think it was sort of like that Lindsay Ellis problem of it would have been
Yes.
very easy to like soundbite
Yes.
any of this shit and make
And
us sound terrible.
yes, and I really wanted to make sure that our point got across
Mm.
as much as possible. And obviously like not censoring us too
I
much.
will say I don't
Mm,
usually I very rarely feel censored when Asia edits. Like
mhm.
I don't feel like I personally don't feel like I'm being censored,
Mhm.
but also because I trust her. Like I trust her
Yeah.
because I know
Well,
she's
and
not gonna.
also right.
But I get it. Today's hot take: latex bubble gum gloves, creepy or healthy? Creepy,
Creepy.
creepy. Unless you're a dentist, unless you're a dentist or you're cosplaying that one dude from My Hero Academia. Those are your two
Are they
options.
pink?
They I don't remember. I
Huh.
think they were.
Wait, what one, dude? See, I don't even.
I'm not giving that one away, but everyone who knows what I'm talking about, because I refuse to out myself further. I've outed
Dang it.
myself enough.
Oh,
Uh,
dang it.
so there are
um.
pink ones,
Oh,
but I think
okay.
most of them are like regular colors, like whatever glove color.
Like that weird grayish color.
Yeah.
Side note. Okay, so
We
I don't
were
know about.
just talking about this.
Right. We were talking about. We do
Yes!
have.
Yes! 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 Someone got it right.
Oh. Oh, I was like,
She's
what the heck?
Chisaki-kai. Yes! Oh my god, I'm so proud of you. I've never been more proud of someone. Oh, I'm screaming. That
You
fucker would wear
almost gave
bubblegum
me.
latex gloves.
You gave me a heart attack.
I'm sorry. I was so excited. Someone got it right. Oh my god. And so quickly. Okay, so back to after Aisha recovers from her small stroke that I gave her. We were just talking about what to do with this content.
Like the extra because we do have a lot. Like it's not that, and again, it's not that we're trying to like hide stuff. It's just that there are some things that it's
They get left on the cutting room floor.
mhm,
Like that's
it's
just
better
how
for yeah.
it's better for flow. It's better for you.
Mhm.
Because real talk, as even though you have listened to us right now for almost 3 hours, which snaps, you really don't want to do that all the time. I promise you, you don't.
Mhm, you
We're
really
not,
don't.
and we're not always that funny. We're not always this engaging. Sometimes it's really personal, and even though we're both pretty candid on this show, sometimes it's too personal. Sometimes it's stuff that's too in the zeitgeist and could actually like get us. I mean, like hurt is the word that comes to mind, but like
Hmm.
attacked or whatever like that on the
Hmm.
internet. Not physically. I'm not worried about physically being attacked because come at me. Um, but like there's just sometimes there's stuff that gets left on the cutting room floor, but intermixed with that, there's also stuff that I think would still be good content to share,
Hmm.
but doesn't necessarily fit in the episode. So like
Hmm.
even though I do think that at first I thought that the cutting was a little aggressive for this episode,
Hmm.
I also think it was really beneficial to streamline
Hmm.
because this is such a weird topic anyways, and representation is already so kind of contentious that yeah, like maybe if we did go to Tangent City, it would weaken
Hmm.
the argument, which is why I didn't really question the aggressive cutting. Like it was just
Right.
like I completely understood the mindset of, hey, this is nice and all, but like we're already walking a thin line, so
Yeah.
let's keep to the facts.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, but I will say that I do appreciate that you felt comfortable enough to like to like bring up your, you know what I mean? Like to bring up your concern about, hey, this is shorter than usual. Like,
Well, it was like it was so weird because I was just like,
hmm.
because I knew our episodes already ran a little long, and it's like
Hmm.
this one just seems so
It's
much
like, wow.
shorter. And if anything,
And
like
it,
it was a question for me, like, did I do something wrong? Like, if anything, it was more like, was I bad?
right.
Like, did I
No.
do something incorrect? Which is why you cut so much. Like, if anything,
Hmm.
that was me asking, what did I do wrong that
No.
this much got cut?
Right. It's like, all like, it's just me talking. It's
Right?
like,
I'm completely xed out. It's just Aisha talking. It's just her responding to nothing. It's
no, it
like,
was literally like there are some times when I was just like, I'm gonna be honest, like
mm-hmm,
we would like our tangents.
mm-hmm,
I was just kind of like,
no.
I don't want to listen to this. Like within the like, not even that I don't want to listen to it because it's funny, but it was like they were taking me off.
Out of it.
Like, and then when we got back to the point, it was
Mm-hmm.
like, girl, I forgot what were y'all talking about.
Yeah, and
So I
that's
was like,
and again, like that comes down to trust. Like I'm trusting
mm-hmm.
that for the most part, like Aisha, like that's what Aisha's mindset is
Yeah, I
when she
appreciate
edits
that you
like that.
trust me because I mean,
Also, I
it could be
can't do
hard.
it. Also, I can't do it. So what am I gonna do? Complain?
Yeah, I mean, you could.
No. Why? What would that do? I can't do
I mean,
your
I would,
job. I
I
can't do
mean,
what you do.
I would make adjustments though. Like if you know, it could, it
I
could
don't
be
think if I
fixed.
could. I no. I fundamentally think that like if it's out of your hands and unless it's
Mm,
egregious, let the person who's the expert in that role
sure, sure.
like I but yeah, like when I asked it was more of a question of like did I do something wrong? Was I off? Because there's like half of this episode that doesn't exist.
Right? You're
Um,
like,
so I was concerned about that.
I think I can say you can trust me, um, to like before I actually cut. Like, I would let you know, like, girl,
Oh yeah.
listen, you said something. And this is you know what I mean? Like if it was really bad, like
If it was really egregious.
yeah.
Yeah, editing yourself is really hard. That's why I don't
Mm.
do it.
Yeah, well, because you kind of have to like well that's why I love doing live streams so much these days because um editing just really can it can be a lot of work because you want it to
Yeah.
be natural,
Yeah.
but also not too natural
Yeah.
because you want it to be shareable
Yeah.
and you want the point to get across because you don't want it to
Yep.
be too long,
Yep.
Whereas live streams, you can people will sit and watch you for 3
For 3
hours,
fucking hours. For 3 goddamn hours.
like a consistent number of people have been. I'm just like, wow, we appreciate y'all.
We do.
So
Yeah.
this is like so much fun.
Yeah.
For like I love it. So, and not that I hate editing, don't get me wrong. Editing is
I was gonna
worth
say
it
we would need
for
to
the
have a
product.
we would need to have a
Right.
conversation if you
Yeah.
decided you hated
Yeah.
editing right
Yeah.
now.
No, like it's worth the end product is oh, you are muted. Uh-oh. Nope. Is it? Hey, let us know. Can y'all hear me? Okay, so y'all can hear me, but not Amanda. Okay, I'm gonna mess. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay,
I was
there
just
we
about
go.
to message you. I was like,
No.
it's okay.
Okay. I had a power surge in one of my US.
Oh. Uh, no. Can't hear you.
There we go.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I can hear you.
Or not. Let's see. We're
Okay,
going to
no.
turn off this one and we're going to turn off this one. Did that do it?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you can hear me. So what we're going to do is boop, boop,
Show
boop, boop,
titty.
boop. I had to do weird plug stuff. Sorry. There we go. I think that should do it.
Okay. I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I had to do
Yes.
weird plug stuff. I had too many things in my little USB hub. So it's like, fuck you, we're going to bed.
Okay.
So I just had to move some plugs around. Sorry about that. Uh, but
No
yeah,
worries.
like editing is definitely something that I don't like doing, which is why I make Aisha do it.
I don't mind.
Yeah, but because I have a really hard time editing myself. Because realistically, if I had to edit myself, I would just remove everything.
Yeah.
I would just not publish.
I mean, honestly, it does take like because I've been doing YouTube stuff. I started in 2016.
Your volume is
So,
quieter though. Oh dear.
yeah, it is a little quieter.
Let me see what I can do about that. Wow. While we continue to work on things.
Right.
While we continue to do things. Let's work on that, shall we?
What was I saying? I'm trying to like I
We're
lost
talking
my
about
brain.
editing.
Oh yeah. So, I've been doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But editing yourself can it's a very interesting
Experience.
experience. Especially because you have to if you're doing video,
Mm-hmm.
you have to look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I was like posting videos every day on my old channel,
Mm-hmm.
and just like having to look at myself every day and hear my voice every day, and it can take a toll
I'm sure
on
it
you.
can. Like
Yeah.
honestly, I'm very sure that it has to.
Hmm.
DBH.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But I still don't hate it because
Yeah,
I feel like the end product is worth it.
that's good.
So
I'm glad that the end product ends up being worth it. TBH.
yes. Well, and the community makes it, because like I wouldn't, if I want to have these conversations with, so many people, I kind of have to put stuff out there. So
Accurate. Accurate and true.
yeah,
I'm working on the audio. I'm sorry. I'm doing my
it's okay.
best. Okay. Apparently, my computer is a moody child, and
It's okay.
I'm hoping we get. You know what? It's interesting seeing like Omegaverse stuff leach into like the wider Yaoi space.
Why do you say that?
So Omegaverse started with like a very specific sect of women who wrote like bad self-published Kindle smut.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You know exactly who I'm talking
I
about.
do.
Like it started with like a very certain sect of woman who like self-published like basically like her fan fiction on
Mhm.
Kindle for 99 cents. And to see it kind of leach into Yaoi is interesting because like ABO and Omegaverse,
Mhm.
while there are similarities to like our old Sime Uke stuff, like there's something that's inherently one rooted in anthro
Mm.
and two uh that actually for the most part most mainstream audiences probably wouldn't like
Mm.
because it is kind of I don't want to say weird, but
Mhm.
like even if someone has read like 50 Shades of Grey, like most people aren't ready for
Mhm.
like ABO and stuff like that. Like that's
Mhm.
not typically, what they that's not the next step typically.
Interesting.
Just because like those dynamics can kind of be a lot if
Mhm.
you're not used to that. I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying
Right.
to be polite. Talking about bad Kindle and Megaverse smut. Guess what? Yep. Yep.
I don't think that I have read um Omegaverse or ABO. Like I just those are I can't think of any.
I have. I definitely
Mhm.
have. Um,
Hmm.
it took me a while to be able to kind of get into it, and there's still stuff that squirks me out.
Mhm. I guess I'm gonna have to do some like research because I still don't fully understand what the heck it is. Like
Where are you confused? Because I can probably answer.
just in like what does it entail, I guess? Like I'm confused about all of it.
All okay.
Yeah.
So ABO Omegaverse
Mm,
stuff. ABO stands for Alpha Beta Omega.
okay.
So it's basically smut because it's almost always smut that centers around those dynamics, which is
Mhm.
based off of now outdated knowledge of how wolves mate.
Okay.
So like your alpha being able to like control your omega and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
beta is just kind of like being off to the side and like kicking it.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like sexual determinism, sort of like there was in old yaoi with like Seme and Uke, which is why
Mhm.
again like I can kind of see how it's a I don't want to say like a natural step forward because it's not.
Mhm.
There's usually some weird anatomy stuff with ABO, like knotting and like
Okay.
demi penises and intersex
Mhm.
stuff, which people get offended by, which I kind of understand because
Mhm.
real intersex people exist
Yeah.
who aren't fucking werewolves. You know?
Mhm. Right. Yeah.
Oh, so there's usually like some weird anatomy stuff that goes with it, and also just like a lot of talk about commands and like being loyal to your alpha, and there's a lot of just oh my god and like oh my
Mhm.
his alpha called to my inner omega and it's like ugh, ugh.
Okay. So it's kind of like
You're welcome for acknowledging it because it is like we used to think that
Mhm.
like in wolf packs it was like oh there's an alpha and there's an omega
Mhm.
and then there's like that's not how wolves mate, they just fuck, they're wolves.
Right.
They're wolves. They fuck whoever and whenever they want. They're wolves.
Oh gosh.
That was us imprinting on them because also like
Hmm.
so if you ever hear like gross man talk of like I'm an alpha, which
I wish I wish somebody
I
the
see
way
that
I
yeah
would tear them down.
I
Like
see that in so many dating profiles like I'm an alpha. It's like
I secretly love tearing down arrogant men. It's a secret thing that I love.
but
So,
so so that's kind of what ABO is and like
mm,
Omega Verse is sort of so Omega Verse is like applying those things to properties that don't have that. So if
okay.
I wanted to apply that to Harry Potter,
Hmm.
then I would be like Harry Potter Omega Verse. Where then I apply
Oh.
those rules to a series. Yeah, okay, I'm kind of with that. If you are inclined, give it a chance. But
Hmm.
it's one of those things also that like I won't make you try again if you don't like it. Like there are
Hmm.
some things and we've acknowledged this that I will push like okay, I know you said you didn't like it, but like here's some notes, maybe try again.
Hmm.
If you don't like ABO your first reading, I am not mad.
Hmm.
If
Right. I mean, to me, it sounds like um, it sounds like some sort of like fantastical offshoot of like BDSM or like what people think it is. What people think that. Do you know what I mean?
almost it's very like light furry.
Okay.
It's so because it started with werewolf porn
Hmm.
is where it really started is like the women who wanted to fuck werewolves.
Yeah, I
Um,
used to be one of those. So, I mean,
Zero judgment.
Loki still am.
Okay, maybe a smidge judgment.
Look how she could get it.
He's underage. He's a minor. That's
Hmm.
problematic. That's really problematic. He's a minor. He's still in school. Um,
Mm, mm,
but it started there, and then it kind of
mhm.
like leached into. Well, I don't want to fuck a werewolf, but I wouldn't mind a guy who's like this.
Uh,
And then it just kind of. I don't want to like it spiraled, but like it was a thing.
mhm,
Uh, I mean, if you can get past like the nodding and stuff, it's really not that bad.
mhm,
I think my big thing with it is that it does kind of have this sexual determinism that I think is grosser than seme uke because like really seme
mhm,
uke in most yaoi isn't like a class distinction. Like there aren't like
mm.
uke internment camps.
Right.
But like you are treated as a different level of person if you're a beta. You're a different kind of person if you're an omega. You're a
Mhm,
different kind of person if you're an alpha. And if you're an
mhm.
alpha, you do kind of get like free reign over. And there's definitely like some kind of rapey
Yeah, that's
aspect
like right. I can
to
see
it
that.
where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, and my omega just gave up even though I didn't want to. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, that's a whole ass crime. So even if
Yeah.
your inner omega was obeying him, you don't want this.
Mhm.
So that's a whole ass crime.
It sounds like it's people maybe they're exploring. I mean, obviously they're exploring
They're exploring something.
something,
Mm-hmm.
something that I'm not necessarily like. It's some people like to explore that whole like non-consent thing or
Yeah,
whatever,
like I
and that's fine.
right. I
Not
think
it's
for
not for me.
yeah, I think for me it's mostly just like the class issue.
Mm,
Like that does bother me a lot.
mhm.
Because yeah, like no one's like putting ukes in camps. Like there's
Right.
not like a mad seme truck where people are gathering up semes and they're like a different breed of person.
Yeah.
Um, so it's the class system that bothers me. Yeah, there's a lot of like dubious consent and non-con, which are
Uh,
things that I'm fine with. but like in that setting, it's usually
It.
not written well enough for me to be okay with.
Mm,
Because don't get me wrong, love me some dubious consent.
mm-hmm.
But the way that often these are written, because they're usually not written by great people, um, it's usually not very well written.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just gross and weird and like it's like, did you just like have a bad night with your husband? Is there like something going on? Like,
Yeah.
so
Eesh.
that's Omegaverse ABO. I have zero judgment to anyone who likes it. I have
Yeah.
zero judgment for anyone who doesn't like it. Like, it's one of those
Same.
things that are like, there's very, very few things in Yaoi that I'm just like, I'm judging you hard. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot of things that make me do that. Uh, like I said, like it took me a while to get into it, and it took like
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it was like one artist that got me kind of into it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's see, but even with the Omegaverse rules, there are others that are written to subvert those rules and a bit. Yes, I definitely don't want to ignore that there's some, especially like fan works that are working with Omegaverse that actually are pretty insightful and kind of neat and will subvert those rules. But like on a whole, I'm not comfortable saying that about the genre yet.
Mm.
Like, yeah, there's definitely some fan works that are doing it.
I'm not gonna lie. Same. Um,
Gross.
I just,
I mean, you can find that in Western comics. Like, Westerners will do a lot of furry anthropomorphic shit. You're not going to find it in manga.
and I think that's why I like it because it is so like it's so. Again, I grew up in a time when there was the Goofy movie, and there was
You keep
freaking Space Jam,
you
and
keep blaming the Goofy movie, and I've seen that movie, and I'm not.
I also have a thing for voices. And when I was a kid, I had a huge crush on Simba
Uh huh.
from The Lion King because I liked his voice, and so therefore in my
As an
head,
adult?
no, as a kid,
Oh.
no, like when I was a, I'm
No,
old.
his
Lion
voice
King.
as.
No, when I was a kid, his voice
Okay.
as a kid,
Okay, that's what I
yeah.
was trying to
Oh,
confirm.
yeah. No, as a kid, I liked his
Because
voice
I was
as
like,
a
you liked
kid.
Matthew Broderick, is what you're saying?
Oh, I did when I grew up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just trying to.
Matthew Broderick is one of my like basic white man crushes because of like what is it? Ferris Bueller's.
Yes.
Why
Okay,
I'm getting off. Okay,
so I
I'm getting off
watched
topic.
Gargoyles, and I know a lot of people who say that.
Uh huh.
I don't get it.
I do because
Okay, I was not.
I also had a crush on the Ninja Turtles.
No, 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 no,
I did.
no. Mm-mm,
I did.
mm-mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm-mm. Nope, didn't get it. Like, because I've heard that a lot. I've heard that Gargoyles thing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm, nope, I don't get.
But you're talking like I legit love monster hentai. Like,
I know you do.
of course, I'm into this.
Oh yeah, like zero judgment. I mean, well, okay.
Raphael
No, I didn't. I never wanted that.
Raphael seems like as a kid, when I was young, I had a crush on Michelangelo because he was goofy and stuff. But as an adult, actually, as an adult, Donatello,
I don't support this conversation.
Donatello, because we all know that I love me a nerd. Okay,
I do not. We
but
there is
Raphael.
actual discourse of turtle fucking going on.
But Raphael though, he seems like he would be he a freak. So I'd give him a chance, but I wouldn't marry him.
It's like I lost a year of my life. I feel like I just lost time. But
No regrets.
I I mean
Regrets.
I know. But I know. I don't expect that from you. But yeah, like it basically took like one artist for me to kind of get into ABO, and then like yeah, like there's still stuff that I'm like, eh, eh, and then there's other stuff that I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
because also like whatever is left of my soul did leave my body. Yes, Whatever's left of my soul, yeah, that it did leave my body. Because also like ABO tends to bring up like, because a lot. Okay, so there's the other big difference is a lot of ABO and Omegaverse in fan spaces is gay or yaoi or BL, and originally it was very hetero.
Mm.
So like applying it to yaoi and stuff like that usually brings up some stuff that like again most normies aren't okay with, like male lactation and impreg,
Mm.
and again like weird anatomy stuff. Uh so again like a lot of normies usually aren't okay with stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
or like if you're just kind of getting into BL, like that's usually not what you signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if you have, I mean, it's so weird because if you don't have it anthro at least a little bit, ABO is just weird because like that's just not how humans work.
Mm.
Like it's one of those things like I am a little bit weird with furry stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but just because again like to me like it always feels like it's cheating. It's like you don't get to have
Mm.
like human some parts and then the rest be a wolf. No.
Ah.
Like you're if you're going to commit that you want to fuck wolves, we're committing to everything that it means to fuck a wolf.
But the thing is that it's
No.
not that black and white.
I
'Cause I
don't
don't want to
care.
actual like wolves. Are not actually attractive. Okay.
I know. One mangaka always said when fuck anthropomorphic BL, she can't write. She imagines them as bishonen. I mean, yeah, same. Like, if it gets too anthro for me, I get weirded out. But it is also like kind of strange thinking about like nodding and stuff as like a human mechanism because it's like now we have to redo all of human anatomy. Thank you. We have to rethink the entire human evolution line that
Mm.
would lead to this appendage in some people and not others.
Right. You know what? And hopefully, I really hope that this doesn't sound shady to anyone. I really do, because okay, like I'm thinking about the way that I read and the way that you tend to read and like things that I'm noticing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel that that genre or whatever maybe is written by people who don't understand what you just said. Like how like does that make sense? And the people who
Absolutely.
read it also
Absolutely. But in
like
all fairness, like
does that make
no,
like
completely, completely.
oh, and I don't mean that as like shade to like because I'm also the type of person like when I read stuff like of all the times I'll just go into it and just
Right.
read it and take it for
And I take
whatever.
nothing at face value.
Right, exactly. And
So,
so I feel like so I'm not saying that people who take things at face value are like I'm not saying it because I am that person, but it's
right.
just funny because like you said that and I was like, oh
Right. And
yeah,
that's
I
one
get
of those
it.
weird things cuz like I agree with you. Like I'm definitely not
Mm,
judging anyone who takes things at face value. But like when
hmm.
you say like, takes you out of the thing,
Yeah,
that takes me out of it because like now you're asking me
to
to
do.
rethink. Now there are some authors so like this concept like hybrids exist in a lot of ABO stuff where like
Hmm.
it's semi anthropomorphic.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
there's one writer that I know who does it a lot, and he goes out of his way to explain how they fit into society and what they are and what they look like.
Hmm.
So it's easier to imagine why these creatures exist. So then when
Hmm.
we do get down to the fucking, I have a better picture in my
Right.
head of like what these are and why these are. But if you were to just
Yes.
throw something like that in, it's like, what the shit?
See, and that is this says so much I think about our personalities just in
Mm-hmm.
general because I'm just like, "Oh, okay, that's a thing."
Like
Like,
it
okay.
takes a very particular kind of thing to do that for me. And
Mm.
there's definitely stuff that can. So
Mhm.
like my I think there's one tell of quality for me is when I'm not having those questions
Mm.
or I don't have them until later. Like I didn't
Mhm.
start questioning Django Unchained until very recently.
Mhm.
And now I'm kind of more aware of like that drink didn't exist. They hadn't dug up Cleopatra by the time this is happening. And like none of it's enough to ruin the movie for me. I
Mm-hmm.
still love it, but like I didn't have those questions before. I
Right.
was willing to just run with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
like now, after like 1,000 rewatches, it's like that drink didn't
Well.
exist. Cause like one of the rooms that they go to in Django Unchained is the Cleopatra room. Cleopatra
Mm-hmm.
hadn't been dug up by that time. They didn't know who Cleopatra was.
Mm-hmm.
How you got a Cleopatra room?
Time travel.
Right, and like, and it, but it's not enough to ruin the movie.
Yeah.
I'm fine. It's a question, but it's a pause, not a break.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
pause. Like I pause a little when I see it, but then I keep going with the characters. But there's
Like,
a little moment now of like, that's not that didn't exist.
but okay.
Yeah, but okay, like I'm willing to
Also,
live with it.
side note, I have not read this yet.
I
I
want
meant
to.
to. I meant to get. I just,
Hmm.
I have so. I'm.
We have a lot going on. Yeah, the context and why. I agree. Like it's the
Mm-hmm.
context, and then I think especially like the big thing is that if you're going to do some of like the rapier stuff, I really need it to make sense. I need it to be well written because a
Mm.
lot of it can be a little bit rapey with like ruts and heats and alphas and
Mm.
omegas. It can get really rapey,
Yeah.
and I'm fine with non-con. I read a lot of non-con. I've written a lot of non-con,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to have a good evening. I mean, it's been three
Bye.
fucking hours. Like,
I know. Yeah. Thanks for being
yeah, thanks for
here.
being here. Shit. Um, but yeah, like I think it's fine for the most part.
Mm.
Especially like the again like the fan works of it. I
Mm-hmm.
like what fans are doing with it because also a lot of the fans who write it, fun fact, are queer,
Mm.
so they're more conscious of this stuff and they are a little bit more tactful with how they write a lot of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it's any less hot. It's not like it's any less aggressive. They're just aware,
Mm-hmm.
so they tend to either write it better or just more strongly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's ABO and Omegaverse.
That
A
is.
thing that shockingly Amanda doesn't hate.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm not a werewolf fucker though. Like that was never a thing that I was into. I
Mm.
never wanted to be a wolf girl.
I didn't want to be a wolf girl. I just wanted to be digged down by a werewolf.
Yeah, that was never something that did anything for me like ever. That was never something that appealed to me or that I wanted. I never looked
I
at, but I'm also like very strong in the vampire camp.
also
So
love vampires, though.
vampires are great.
I'm. What am I? I'm. I was gonna try to make a joke about being bi, but with monsters. Couldn't do it. My brain doesn't.
It's also been
It's
3 hours.
also been 3 hours. I'm also hungry.
So we'll wrap this up as we approach the let's say probably at 7. See, I was just a mortal man. Yes. Have you seen the thick ass statue of the Mothman?
Wait, no.
So in Point Pleasant, where like the Mothman story originated,
Hmm.
there's a statue of him like in the center of the town square, and
Hmm.
he is like thick with 3 C's. He got a booty. He has abs. And it's like,
Wow.
why y'all trying to fuck Moth? Why is he so thick? He's very thick. Like, why y'all trying to fuck Mothman?
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, he's just kicking it. Like Mothman, he's not like Bigfoot, where like there are stories of Bigfoot trying to take women. Like Mothman ain't trying to do shit. Why
Let's
y'all trying to?
see.
Why y'all trying to fuck Mothman?
Oh, damn.
He thick. He got a booty. Why he got a booty? Can he fly when them cheeks clap?
Huh. I'm not mad at it.
I mean, I'm not mad. I just want to know like which artist did this interpretation? Because most of the I mean, yeah, they clearly hired a furry artist because, like, most depictions of Mothman, like, he's barely a thing. He's just like
Right.
a blob with wings. But this
They
artist
said, nah,
interpreted
he gonna
him,
glow up.
nah, he gonna clap. We gonna, this Mothman's gonna be fuckable. I'm not here to shade anyone, but it's like, that's a choice. Because, like, yeah, like, there's no depictions of Mothman that have him looking like that. But
Well, now there is
okay.
one.
Now that, I mean, I'm not mad. It just, you be you.
I'm gonna start sending you random pictures of Mothman fan art.
I've
You
seen a
know it's
lot of,
out there.
I've seen a lot of Mothman fan art.
Oh, see.
I'm a cryptozoologist on the weekends. I've seen
Right.
Mothman fan art.
Yeah, so be prepared.
I feel like Mothman or like the Fresno Nightcrawler would be like the best boyfriend. I don't think Bigfoot would make a good boyfriend.
I mean,
I just don't think Bigfoot would make a good boyfriend.
I want to know why, but I'm also hungry.
Go eat.
Why? Like, no, I want to know why. Why do you think Bigfoot would not be a good boy?
I don't know. It's just they seem so violent in some of the accounts
I
and like too wild.
mean, maybe they're probably just tired of people bothering them. TVH, they're introverts.
Apparently there's a Bigfoot in the swamps of Texas that can use guns, and that's like the worst sentence I've ever read.
Oh, you know what? This is fair.
Yeah. Also, but that's insinuating that like you've domesticated and brought him home. Because I'm
He
just
probably
imagining. Because I'm
smells
just imagining like a
like
woods fuck.
outside.
Well, yeah, I mean he's gross. Like I'm just imagining like a woods fuck. Like I'm not imagining like filming
Uh,
Bigfoot and like bringing him home.
yeah. Listen, I those are great shows.
Delicious. It's so funny that you mentioned that earlier of like me being that person who like doesn't take anything at face value. I rewatched Tarzan,
Which one? Like the
the
cartoon?
Disney animated one.
Uh-huh.
And I remember like, oh my god, he's so hot. Or like even like Jane in the movie. It's like
Mhm.
he probably smells awful.
Oh,
Like
you know. His breath.
just everything.
I bet he
He
has so much plaque on his
right, like there is
teeth.
nothing about
His tongue is covered in
it's just fuzzy. It's like there is nothing about any of this that sounds like a positive experience.
ew.
Right, like it's and that's something like that I was thinking like I even as like a child, like that's gross.
And you know that his dick is dirty.
Oh, it has to be.
Like
But
he
also that like he hasn't had sexual feelings for humans before because he didn't know they existed.
so you know he was probably
Yeah.
dicking down
Yeah.
the gorilla ladies.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not in the Amazon, he's in Africa.
That soundtrack slaps though.
Oh, it does.
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins didn't have to go that hard for us, but he did.
He just served.
He did.
He served
He did.
us.
But like, yeah, like that's where my brain is. It's like I was just thinking it's like there is nothing about this that is attractive.
Right.
Okay, so it's supposed to be set in Africa, but there's a lot of things about it as Africa that don't make sense. Like there's
Mm.
bananas. Africa has no bananas. There's a lot of foliage that doesn't exist in Africa,
That makes so much sense.
but it
That like
is
it felt weird. Yeah.
but it is supposed to be set in Africa.
Mhm.
Mostly because of them talking about like the long journey and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Because they have like two or three native African fauna that like it makes more sense if this being set in Africa rather than like them trying to bring gorillas to the Amazon.
Mhm.
So it is meant to be Africa, but it's just very weird and anachronistic.
Mhm.
But it is meant to be Africa. It's just a bad animated version of Africa.
Right.
But
Probably
it,
animated by people who,
well, I mean, like as kids, we didn't know and didn't care.
yeah.
Like as children, we didn't know or care, but we're adults now and we know that gorillas don't eat bananas.
Right.
Monkeys don't eat bananas unless they're in zoos. And honestly, it's too much sugar for them.
It makes me think of the Rugrats movie uh with the little brother,
Oh,
the baby
Dill, the
brother,
first one.
Dill. Yeah, and he's like, the monkeys ate the banana.
Yeah, they don't. It's too much sugar for them, honestly.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, so it's meant to be Africa, but like it's
Mm,
anachronistic and stupid because it was made for children and you're not supposed to question it.
mm.
And now we're in our 20s and 30s and we have nothing better to do than to pick apart Disney movies. So,
Especially in the middle of a pandemic.
right, like it's like me picking apart Black Panther. Just
I'm not ready yet.
he was going to kill Dill. Like he
I
was
wanted, listen, I was rooting for it. Dill got on my damn nerves. I was just like, I don't care that he's a baby. He can catch these.
Aisha about to fight a child.
I mean, mind you, I was also a child.
I was too.
Well, child, yeah, no, I was a kid.
But yeah, like oh my god, I started picking apart Black Panther mostly just because I don't know what accent anyone is doing.
Well, that's fair.
Like everyone is doing a different accent, and like half of them are bad. I don't know why Forrest Whitaker is there. Was he just like stumbling around the lot and they just called him in? Because we didn't need Forrest Whitaker. He didn't need to be there. There's a very egregious moment of cultural appropriation that still bothers me.
Mm.
So the Jabari, the mountain tribe, their god is Hanuman, which is an actual Hindu deity,
Ah.
and Hinduism still exists.
Mm-hmm.
So like the whole thing, because I had someone challenge me on that point, where it's like, well, they also worship Bast. Are there any ancient Egyptians hanging out? Do you see a pharaoh outside of Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, yes, there are pagans that still pray to Bast, but like, it's not a dominant real religion anymore. It's just not.
Mm.
There are real Hindus out there who are actively praying to Hanuman.
Mm.
That's cultural appropriation. And then especially to take him out of context like that. It's offensive.
Mm.
So, I mean, but I still love M'Baku. He thick. I do have a point. That's why I said it. I know I do. I'm aware.
More Amanda being right on the list.
But like, again, like I love comments like that. It's like you got a point. I know. That's why I made it. Fully aware. But I mean, M'Baku's still thick. I love him. I also fully advocate barking at white people when they're wrong. Fully advocate that.
I'm
What are you eating? What are you gonna go eat?
not sure. Um,
M'Baku is
I'm
thick.
actually really not sure because, Matt is
Aisha starving out
hurting.
here.
So I'm like, I don't know whatever's
Aisha,
out there.
Aisha fully just looked like a child when like we know dinner's at 7 and mom hasn't got off the couch and you think you're gonna starve. Like dinner's at 7, 7:15 and mama's still doing her hair or something, and you
It's
are
like,
convinced on this night you starve. Like this is it. That is 100% the look you just gave. I don't know what's for dinner. Like food doesn't exist. Like you couldn't order a pizza or something. Like you aren't a whole ass adult and couldn't make something for dinner.
you sound like my uncle one year at Thanksgiving. He had made this delicious pie, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Ooh, Matt, you needed to get with Uncle and have him teach you how to make this." And then my uncle looked me right in the eye and said, "You could learn how to do it."
Right.
I'm just like, sir, why are you coming for me like
Slightly panicked.
that?
No, so I made mac and cheese from scratch for my cousins once. Like I made a roux and everything. And my cousins are younger than me, and like they're eating. It's like this doesn't taste like the box. This doesn't taste like Velveeta, and like they're still eating. And it's like then put the bowl down. Shit, you're right. It doesn't taste like Velveeta, but y'all still are eating. I'm trying to decide if I want to order something or if I want to like put on shoes and go through a drive-through. I think I'm gonna put on shoes.
Yeah, it might be good for you to
Fuck
just kind of
you.
like leave your house. No,
No,
I meant to like leave the house for a little bit. I left the house today. I had to go pick up
I left.
tacos for lunch.
See, this is what I mean about from earlier, where it's like, would you like to talk to someone about your depression? Fuck you. I was like, it might be good for you to leave the house. Can I do something for you?
I was like,
Like,
wait.
like the initial response is always defensive. It's like, hi, is there something I can do for you?
Oh
I'd be good to leave the
gosh.
house. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck your favorite vegetable. Fuck your favorite color. You don't know me.
Put your shoes on, bitch. Bye. No, I'm just
There's a drag queen's read mean tweets, and one of it's Naisha Lopez, who's a great drag queen,
kidding.
and the mean tweet was like, "You made the wrong decision," and she just like she gets ready to go off, and then there's another one where they're doing like skits of like shady comments, and Naisha doesn't say anything. She just takes her earrings off, and it's like that's it. That's how you know it's bad when you don't even get like a response. You just get like take. She takes her hoops off, and I think she takes her wig off because she's like, "Let's go. Let's fucking go." But we're gonna wrap up because it's been 3.5 hours and it's
Yeah.
midnight. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yay.
Thank you for listening to the episode. Just thank you because like yeah, it's been 3.5 fucking hours. Uh, I don't I don't like my family that much.
I mean,
I don't like all of my family that much.
I like some of my
I
family
like
that
some
much.
family, but like not
Yeah.
all of them. Our next episode is going to be about the abusive semi trope, which I'm gonna
Yes.
start outlining probably this week. Uh, but yeah, hopefully we have some cool things coming up soon to talk about. If you have ideas for topics, let us know
Mhm.
because we will listen to you, despite our pugnacious nature, mostly mine. We will listen. Uh, but yeah, like just thank you guys for being
Yeah.
here. Uh, you can find me at Aichi Yume most places, including YouTube.
Mhm.
Even though I don't post videos very often, I'm working on one, but I am working on one. And at Amanda actually on WordPress, where I blog and rant. I just did a post on my 600-pound life where I
I
talk
s-
about trauma.
yeah, I read it.
Did you like it?
Mhm. I mean, I say I mean like is it was well written.
Thank you. Yeah,
Like-
it's an awful show. It's a terrible show that shouldn't exist. And I can talk about trauma as always, but that's where you can find me. Aisha,
Mm.
where can our friends find you?
Yeah, y'all can find me on Twitter at Mama Loves Manga, YouTube, Instagram, all at Mama Loves Manga.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I have a website, mamalovesmanga.com. I need to start talking about that more because I have a
You do have a
blog
website.
there, but I don't blog anymore. So,
We
anyways,
we will have more discussions on Discord about
yes.
having one. If that's something that you guys
Oh
want,
yeah, let us know if y'all
yeah, please let us know on Twitter if a Discord is something that you want. You can
because we will
find.
do it. I think I'm pretty sure. I see. I shouldn't say that because you didn't. We didn't.
Just gonna check these
Uh,
dates again of the days in between the last conversation and now where it has not been discussed.
didn't we say we were gonna go? Did we? Are we
No one's done anything yet, Aisha. So if that's something that you guys want, let us know. You can
Yes.
find us as a unit
Mm.
on the Yaoi shelf, at least on Twitter. Uh, we don't really know if we need to expand any other platforms yet, just because we're both tired and old.
Yeah. Also, what would we do on Instagram? Like,
Yeah, what do we do on Instagram?
yeah, I
Uh,
don't know.
so that's it. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for being here. We appreciate
Bye.
it. Bye.
Thank you.